And places everybody. Places
What up, Sugar Muffin Malone here.
Quiet on the set.
Dang.
And action.
Action.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Sugar Malou.
Who is that?
On the mic, he ain't playing.
He's got a million of these.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep him coming.
Yeah, that's part of who I am, man. I don't play no games. I'm out here in these streets.
Out here in these streets.
What up, everybody? This is your boy. This us. We here.
Your boys and lady.
Yep.
What up, everybody? It's your boy.
Yes, we are live now.
I'm going to...
On what?
YouTube.
We are live on the tube.
On the tube.
What up, everybody? Coming y'all from YouTube, live from the underground.
Share this to my
Straight from the deck. You know what I mean?
I don't want to be like I'm the only person that doesn't have somebody to share this with, so I'm going to pick my phone up and close the calculator app
Hey, man.
that I was using so gracefully.
Right.
My maps gone, music, messenger.
We live, bitch.
For some reason,
We
I only talk to Steve on Messenger for some reason.
It just seems like natural.
Even when I went to call you, I literally went to Messenger.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, he's following through this whole.
Yeah,
He's
don't
just gonna
break
follow
protocol.
Hey, man, that means you're a good guy in real life, man.
Is that what that means?
I appreciate you. You know what I mean?
All right.
We live for real?
We are
Yeah.
live for real.
Seriously.
All right, this time
tried
it
to
didn't
warn
catch
you.
me. It didn't catch me. I ain't say nothing crazy. See that? Look at that.
We
Look
tried to
at
warn you. We tried.
growth.
Growth.
I'm out here trying. You know what I mean? Trying to be better day by day.
I was just trying to better
You know what
myself.
I'm saying? I got some spiritual enlightenment today. You know what I mean?
By way of what?
You shared it to the page.
I turned it to the group.
The
Man,
group.
I'm
Yes,
just
better.
tagging people in this joint.
I'll share it to the page.
Yeah, share it to the page. Cause I'm just tagging people
give it some
to
love.
make them.
In case-
I wish it was a check all button on here, man.
Can't do that. That'd be
There should
spam.
be. There should be.
Man, don't say that, man. Put the
I'm
spam
about to invite.
people that, man.
So what I gotta do now?
To the.
What buying word that, man? Share that buying word before I jump all in there.
What?
You know how I do when I get on here. I threaten people first and then I show them love.
And then all my YouTube followers. I'm going.
That worked for me, yo. That's what people expect.
Somebody
from
just
me.
posted something that is rather intellectual.
What is that they said?
I won't tell everybody that it was my brother. It says random things that I believe. Women are sneakier than men.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
We have no control over who becomes president of the U.S.
That's true.
Food labels lie.
A lot.
We won't do something about global warming until it's too late.
It's already too late.
And sports are the key to ending racism.
That's not real. Not for me.
You're crazy.
I can get behind two out of the.
All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Today we are talking about water, the shape of water, and how tasty it is.
High water
And
is
how-
formless. And my Bruce Lee best thing I'm about. Oh God, my thing on.
I feel like I need to drink more water.
Yeah, I try to
Me
drink
too.
a gallon a day.
How does that work out for you?
I drink actually over a gallon a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you drink out of, like a whole gallon jug? Or
No, I use a 32 ounce thing. Like I have like several gallons of water around me, but I just pour them into a 32 ounce thing. As long as I drink 4 32 ounce vessels, I know I got my gallon. But most time I'm thirsty past that because I will drink 64 ounces in the morning when I first wake up.
Yeah, I try to drink more water.
Wow.
So I leave a glass of water by my nightstand at night, so that when I wake up before my feet hit the floor, I can drink some water.
Yeah, also
Sometimes it
take
ends
a
up
good
on my
dump.
pillow or the nightstand. So.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Snuck that one in there. Touche.
Yeah,
It also helps pass the
bowels
movements.
help you defecate.
Gives you the move. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going downhill, Steve. Change the topic.
Yes.
Yes.
We should go live. Well, not live, but press record for the podcasters now.
Oh, shoot, man, bump them jokers, man. They ain't out here living right.
Not the best way to get more followers.
You right, but you know people respond to my aggressiveness.
Sure.
So we
Just like Siobhan bringing you that glass of water.
Wow, how'd that work out for you?
Word.
See
Thirsty.
how people.
All right, I'm
thirst.
finally moving the camera angles. I'm
All
finally
right.
moving the camera angles.
All right, man. I'm about to start in 5, 4, 3,
How do I log on to that?
2, 1. What log on what?
YouTube?
I'll figure it out.
You just go on YouTube. Look stuff.
What up, everybody? This your boy Darius J, aka Sugarfoots Malone, coming to you live from the underground. We got here the regular people.
Oh wow!
What y'all doing?
Well, I'm Stevie Neal.
Oh yeah,
that's our usual.
Yeah, I was just gonna do something new, but keep going, man.
Yeah, I'm Stevie Neal,
and I'm Mela G.
With special guests.
Special guest. Chef Jarvis. If you got headphones on, it's over.
I started out too high. Yeah, we started out a lot too high. Yeah. But welcome everybody to Convrs8. Thank you for tuning in again, man. We are glad to have you guys. We are a show of variety. We delve into a couple topics for you guys and give our own viewpoints. You know, we don't know everything and we don't claim to know everything, but we try. You know what I'm saying? We ain't out here trying to say believe what we say, but hey, we just giving our opinions. Mm-hmm. That's what opinions are for. Everybody got one just like Darius. But we talk about, you know what I'm saying, we hit everybody, white collar, no collar, and everybody in between, you know what I'm saying? So check us out on our different platforms, which is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, just to name a few. But we have several others, but the mother of them all, well, not the baby, the mother of them all is Anchor. Check us out at anchor.fm, and thank you. Let's get to the show.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
How you living, Mela G?
I'm about to say, you don't forget that you are the conductor.
No, but you usually say how you living.
Nah, I'm going to let you say it.
Okay, how you living, Mela G? Well, you know, this weekend was the premiere of...
Multiple personalities.
This weekend was the premiere of our pilot episode for Cash, Confessions of a Spiritual Hustler. Mm-hmm. It was great. Guys, it was very overwhelming. He's the only one clapping. Yeah.
I thought you had a little button that was like, so the upgrade.
Oh yeah, I need
We're working on it. We're working on it. Is it right here? Good.
What is so?
It's right. It's
sorry. I may have to turn you up, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry, we having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, whatever.
We're working through them.
But what's up? Let's go.
But yeah, it was very, very emotional from beginning to end. I feel like the whole night prior to everything going down, I was just trying to hold my cry in. Oh. But yeah, that didn't last too long. Especially after my dad gave his speech and his encouragement, that just was everything and more of what I needed. And the night just itself, just being amongst people who have supported us from day one, not even just with the show, just with our lives, and just to be able to invite people who has been a part of that journey to just be a part of that moment for the both of us was just truly encouraging. So yeah, that was kind of like the highlight of my week, honestly. Right. And I'm just excited to see where God is going to take it and where he's already taken it. We've gotten a call from a major network already. So yeah, we gotten a call from a major network already, and we're just waiting to hear back. So there'll be more news on that as we get it.
Nice. Dope. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, yo. You know what I mean? Stephen, there, how you live?
Well, I'm gonna slide to our guests.
Yeah.
You know, how you living, Chef Jarvis?
How you living? What? How you living? What? And living. You remember that? Oh,
yeah.
Come on, you might be too young for that.
State of
Living Color, yeah.
Okay, cool. Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
J-Lo.
Get around the corner behind the sofa several nights.
Watch
the dance crew.
Oh, I just have to listen to the theme music most of the time. I couldn't get caught.
That and Tales of the Crypt. Stayed up too long watching those. Wow. Anyway, I'm living great, man. Thanks for asking, Stevie. Today is... so, let me jump into this. My sister just had... her first son.
Oh
yeah, Cameron Dalmassey. So shout out to Cam.
Yes.
He's a couple of weeks old now. He's one of the most adorable things that I've ever laid eyes on. I think it's amazing just sitting there staring at a fresh newborn baby Every time I go over there, I just stare at him for like 45 minutes to an hour. It's like beautiful, weird, and peculiar, all put together.
That's good.
And he just sleeps. That's all he does is sleep.
Most of what newborns do.
Yeah. So he's amazing. Because of that, I am doing amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Aside from that, business is great. For those who don't know, I am a chef. All I do is cook and travel. That's all I do. And so I'm doing that for some time now. At some points it is. Yeah. And then when you forget to eat, it just sucks.
Yeah.
Fixing sandwiches at 2 a.m. when you get off work. So yeah, but aside from the sandwich at 2 a.m, everything is amazing. Yeah, I love what I do.
Hey.
Awesome.
Stevie Neal,
hey,
how you living?
Can I do something?
Sure.
Can I do something?
In the middle.
Yeah, can I restart this whole thing?
Restart the whole thing?
Yeah,
I mean, for the podcast, you can. Sure.
Yeah. Because I don't.
Sorry, guys.
Something.
Sorry, listeners. Well, this won't make it. So. Yeah.
We'll just start.
For the viewers.
Yeah, for the viewers. Sorry, you're gonna have to get a rewind.
Yeah.
Sorry for my unprofessionalism today, guys, but something
the
went
big
wrong.
25.
What went wrong?
The sound completely blanked out. Like, no, it was nothing. It was a bad connection with this thing.
Oh,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying? But, that don't never happen. But I don't know what made it happen. But, Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's good.
It's okay.
It's all right.
We
We live.
live in
You know what I'm
here.
saying? Where your mom at?
These are live bullets.
Exactly.
So.
Oh, somebody got bullets.
Yeah.
I got bullets for sure.
Yeah.
I stay strapped. Sorry if I couldn't bring a gun in your house.
Yeah.
I stay strapped, Steve. Just in case somebody hear what we saying and they don't like it and they run up in here. I'm protected, everybody.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm talking about. You
Just
know
get
what I'm
behind
saying?
me, not in front.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we still recording.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
No.
we're still on the
We're still
internet.
live.
Yeah.
My water gun is what I'm referring to.
Yes. Those water jets are
Sorry
deadly.
for lying, Jesus.
Yeah. 'Cause I like.
For the sake of the record.
Shout out to Coop, who's probably listening. Thanks for tuning in.
Who is that?
Coops who joined and you were like, who is this joining? And I was like, that's my friend Coop.
All right, man. All right, everybody. We're going to start up again, man.
We're going to start the whole intro.
Do you have your
everything from
password
stop. I had to
iPhone?
erase it all because Mella actually didn't get one sound.
That's fine.
That's why I was like trying to fix the
Pull up a picture up. I can pull it up.
Okay.
It's the original password.
I hate disconnections, man.
Alright.
Is it good?
Yeah, everything good now. But
Okay.
your joint like went flat. Like I know we were getting sound for you. You know what I mean? Jarvis was the only one keying. Yeah.
Oh.
Boss.
That's normally the mic that don't key.
Boss.
What up, everybody? Russ Brown.
What up? Well, at least give time for everybody to come on.
Yeah. Let me
there
find
wasn't
this
nobody
Wi-Fi
on,
because
so.
she's probably going to need this for the show.
Who?
Oh, this is for Jarvis.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not
Jarvis.
mandatory. I'm looking at Mella's, so if you don't
I got to find a Wi-Fi password.
if you don't have it immediately, it's all good. You alright?
No, I'm saying. But I'm finna get it.
Do a woosah too.
Okay. Y'all ready? Or y'all still trying to figure out this Wi-Fi situation?
Oh, yeah.
We can do it at the same time.
Hey, man, what my drink at?
Right there.
Right there.
Conversate. Conversate.
That's real.
Gotta warm up your vocal cords. You know what's the most annoying sound?
Yeah, that's why I try to tell people. Not
People like chew and stuff. And
Smacking.
you're on a plane. You're just.
Oh my gosh. So annoying.
I'm like, I just want to smack that chip down your throat so you don't have to chew it.
Smack it.
I hate when people chew and you just can see the action of them chewing. Like I like when people chew like just chew regularly with your mouth. Yeah,
Discreetly.
but you see people they be like.
But at least you can not look. You can't not listen.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The sound
right.
turns me towards them, and I just be like, and I try to like not see it, but then I'm like, I hear you.
I'm like,
Now I have a visual of what that looks like. Now I want to just slap your lips on the backside of your neck, Daffy Duck style. You know what I mean?
Daffy Duck has lips on the back of his neck.
Well,
When Elmer blows his head off, his beak ends up at the back of his head.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, sorry I ain't used the right vernacular for beak. You know what I mean?
What's past tense of beak?
Beak.
Is beak a verb?
No, I was hoping somebody said beak.
That's what I thought in my mind. And I was like, let me not say this out loud.
Bake.
Alright, man.
Bike.
Alright, man. All right, go from the top, yo.
It's the country.
One small from
bike.
the top.
We all good. The mics are coming up. That's what I get for now.
Can I talk with an accent the entire show?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that'd be
great.
That'd be great.
That'll help.
That would make
Samantha somebody,
laugh a lot.
Laugh a lot. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, let's do that.
All right. What's up, blow?
I like to do that, and like when I'm going to the grocery store and somebody is like, "Oh my gosh, I love your accent." I'm like, "I don't have an accent. You have an accent." They're like, "No. You talk like you're from like English or something." And I'm like, "That's not a place. It's a language." What? Yeah. Like, "Oh, where you from?" Like, "Oh, I'm from Oakland."
And then it's South Georgia, cuz
makes people mad.
My bad, yo.
People think I'm Dominican. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it is. That's why I do my L thing. That's where that came from.
El Fingo, cuz.
That's exactly where that came from. Because when we got to the Dominican Republic, everybody was just like, my brother this and talking to me in Spanish, like as if I spoke Spanish, and I was just like, nah, cuz baño.
Baño.
I ain't even start off with bien. I just said baño. Huelo al baño.
To El Baño.
That's all I got. All right, man. We're finna start it up, man. Hey, honestly, that was just a dry run to get y'all ready to see what we doing. You know what I mean? But we might slap the color off everybody later. All right, y'all ready?
Slap the color off of people.
Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Goodness gracious, this cold is killing my mind. Like I should have
mojo.
Yeah, it really taking my mind is not focused right now. All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh snap! Nope. What?
Pump fake.
Mella, come here, y'all. This is not starting right. That ain't doing right. I'm not on my game today, man. I'm sorry, guys. I love y'all.
Technical difficulty. Like, remember when we had Audible?
Yeah.
Remember like episode 4 where it completely crapped out for no reason at all?
Yeah, it just quit. It was just like I give up on life. It was like a suicide. Jesus.
All right. Oh.
1, 2, 3. 4.
What has it been, like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
It's fine. People are.
I'm actually giving myself my own pressure right now, so yeah. All right, man. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What up, everybody? It's your boy Darius J.
And I'm Stevie Neal.
And it's your girl Mela G.
With special guest
Chef Jarvis.
Still working your eardrums on a Sunday basis.
Yes, this is Convrs8.
This is Convrs8, guys. Welcome. This is Convrs8. Well, we get into topics too, to be exact. Give our opinion, give our daily opinion. Well, you know what we think about these things. Opinions are for everybody. We are entitled to one. That's what I think, and that's what I know, because everybody has an opinion about something.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't saying that we right, but you know, if you feel like we right, hey, give us a thumbs up, a like, and a share. But if you feel like we wrong, do the same thing anyway. You know what I'm saying? But we get in these topics, man. We, get in our day to day. We go all the way from white collar to no collar. You know what I'm saying? We are about the people. Everyday people make the world go round. You know what I mean? So check us out on our various sites, which is Anchor.fm, which is the mother, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple. Yeah. Apple is where we get all our listeners from.
Pretty much.
So check us out. Even though I'm not an I person.
I stuff.
Hashtag I stuff. But, let's get into the show. How you live, Mela G?
He's coming back to life, guys. Praise God.
Yeah.
Well, this weekend was the highlight of my week. We released a pilot episode of our show, Confessions of a Spiritual Hustler. We had Keegan on at the beginning of November, the beginning of October. Sorry, promoting this event, and it finally came and went yesterday.
And it's on its way, guys.
Yes, and so there's so many great things that happened on that night. A lot of sharing, especially from my dad. Love you, Dad.
Daddy showed love with the Anthony Hamilton.
Wouldn't be here without Dad.
That joker looked like Charlie Wilson. Like,
literally.
You are everything.
With that young energy, man.
Yes,
I love his energy.
It's that cash rule everything around me. Jesus, get the money. $dollar bill, y'all.
He's here.
Yeah, I'm
Darius
back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so I appreciated every word that you said. It was definitely needed. I needed to hear that. But overall, it was a very emotional night, very momentous night. Definitely see just how God is going to continue to just grow the show and impact so many different people just from what everybody shared, especially Dave, who is the owner of the actual building where we had the event at. And he was just speaking so many just...
Yo, I love that studio space.
Oh my goodness, the studio space, everything, and just the story on how we were able just to obtain it. And it's so interesting how God has... people going through different things at different times, and when they meet up in the middle, it's like, wow, I didn't even know that you were going through that. Because basically, 2 months prior to us even having an idea to actually have a screening, God was already telling him to say no to everybody that came to him to use his space, whether it be for a workshop or for a class or whatever the case may be. And his first yes was us. Yeah. So I just really, just thank God and just appreciate, how he just been leading and guiding this whole show, and just the turnout that, was last night, and just to see where it's going. Definitely in contact with a huge, major, mainstream network that reached out to us literally right after the event via email. So we're just looking forward to the opportunity and see where that's going to take us as well. So please keep us in your prayers.
That's dope. Congratulations.
That's dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we a hand clap? For the podcast.
Hey, when I get my soundboard, we'll be able to clap officially without our hands.
Couple whistles.
You know what I'm saying? But how you live, Mr. Jarvis Belton?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm dope. I'm dope. Thanks for asking, man. My sister just had a baby a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I was super excited. Uber excited. Cameron Dow Massey, we welcomed into the world. So, yeah, it's just amazing looking at my first nephew from my siblings. You have nephews from your cousins and things like that, but it's so much different when like your brother or sister has a baby. So, yeah, we welcomed him in a couple of weeks ago. I was in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's weird because, I'm going to tell this quickly, the story about like siblings, right? So, the connection between siblings is so strong. Yeah. And it's not just twins, it's siblings. Yeah. Right. So my sister, of course, was pregnant for nine months, right? A little less than 9 months. And I had to fly to Utah. I had to go to Park City for a week. Right. Yeah. I told my sister before I left, I said, don't have a baby. Like, if you can keep the baby in, don't have a baby while I'm out of town, right? Right. On the way to the airport, I text my brother, and I've never texted my brother this before. I said, hey, go spend the night with LaToya. I was like, please, go spend the night with LaToya. And he was like, man, I got super amounts of stuff to do. I'll spend the night tomorrow. I hop on the flight, get to Park City, and that night my sister went into labor. Wow. So I'm in Park City like, yo, at least my brother spent the night, but I didn't get the message that he didn't until I got to Park City. So no shade to my brother. I mean, he was busy. He had stuff to do. But the connection between siblings is so strong that I knew she was going to have that baby that night. Or at least go into labor that night. That happened. I've seen him several times. All he does is sleep, which newborns, they're good for that, sleeping and eating.
That's their job.
So that's been like a bundle of joy for me for the past couple of weeks. Aside from that, business is great. I'm cooking, traveling, meeting new people, so I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yo, how you live, Stephen Hill?
Well, I'm living well. That's good. It's just a season of just growth. we're trying to get a Bible talk started in this locale on this side of the perimeter, but off the perimeter.
Right.
Because it's plenty of talks in the perimeter.
Yeah.
We wanted to just give people another opportunity to get together. So
that's what's up.
And just really the process of getting that started and keeping everybody who's going to be involved connected with it.
Yeah.
You know, our first meeting is this Wednesday.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
Dope.
Yeah, man. So, it's just really refreshing for me, just as far as really communicating with brothers and, just people I'm going to get advice from. And also just, really getting my word more intentionally.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need stuff to offer people and be open to being a coach, so to speak, as well.
Absolutely.
So it's just my next phase, I feel, and so that's been my week really. So I mean it just come to me today how refreshing it is.
Yeah.
Because I was stressing about it up until maybe about Friday or Saturday. I was just like, man, careful what you ask for, right? Now, this is a lot.
Right.
But it is a lot.
It is.
That is a fact.
That's
you know
a
what
fact.
I mean? And I'm looking forward to all that it is.
Yes.
So that's been my week, and it's just culminated with today. Just really getting a lot of good talks, advice, and studying it. So,
hey man, that's what's up.
So how you living, Darius J?
Well, I've been living good, man. Like for the most part, just everything that I have coming up in the next year, and that I've been meditating on, and even like getting some encouragement today, just from some of the ideas that I've been having. Just pushing forward spiritually, financially, and just like goal wise, even in just business. You know what I mean? It's been good. You know what I mean? I have got great input. I have got sound input actually. You know what I mean? Like most of the time most of the time I just don't listen to people, man. I just kind of just do my thing, and I be like, yo, I've been grown.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've been living my life all my life, and it ain't faded me yet. You know what I'm saying?
I found out I do the same thing.
So,
I gotta work on that as well.
Trying to work on that, you know what I'm saying? And actually listening and having a wise counsel, you know what I mean? People been telling me that all my life, but you know what I mean? But hard-headed, you know what I mean? That's how I am. You know what I mean? But actually just being able to, honestly preparing to have the life that I dreamed of. You know what I'm saying? And just not for me, but, for others, because just like most of the things I do, I try to do it not thinking about myself. You know what I mean? Like I think about who will help, how can I help family, friends, all that stuff wise, you know what I'm saying? And I'm actually earnestly trying to big up my friends in 2019, just like try my best to attend them and, push them forward, because I mean, honestly, I feel like all creators, and we talk about this regularly, you know what I'm saying, and all people that have different avenues in life that we should, as a collective, help push everybody forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be with your show, you know what I'm saying, and your clothing line and your cooking, and I really want you to start with your visual art stuff, man. Like, and even like just having that like, even like you having that Bible talking stuff, stepping outside of yourself to do that. I really want to, help grow it. You know what I'm saying? Help make it a part, because I was in, amongst us in the meeting, and like you was sincere, and I appreciated that sincerity. And you know what I mean? And I think that's going to help in the long run. But just also not just doing things just to be chilling. Because just like me, most of the time I do things because I'm so used to just grabbing things and doing it, not really having a plan. I'm just so, like I always say, I'm good at off the hip. Like I'm not, I know how to work in the element of things. Like if you got chaos, I can jump in and,
that's
you know what I mean? Like, but with these goals going forward, like, being, you know what I'm saying, at the age of 35, I have to approach things differently. You know what I mean? I have to make sure I put effort on the front end. instead of just jumping in some say, hey, I want to do it, and jump in and then just start doing it, and sometimes you miss your place. You know what I'm saying? You understand that you have to start at an A, B, C, D. You know what I mean? But that's how I'm living now. That's where my mind is at now. Yeah.
And you know what? We went to Fisherman's Catch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that.
Fisherman's Cat. Got that, man.
Yes.
All you can eat crab.
Oh.
Jeez, that sounds great.
Man, isn't that those are all you can eat? The seafood thing.
Do they
this
lump
weekend?
blue crabs in there?
I don't
Blue
know.
crabs?
Oh no,
Snow
I'm thinking of something else.
It was snow.
It's snow.
Snow crab.
It's snow crab.
But that's a seafood. That's an all you can eat seafood thing this weekend.
But I like mine hot to order. I don't like mine sitting out for people to touch.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
And that's what I like about
They
it.
bring it to you.
So where was this at?
Off 78.
Yeah. Lilburn.
In Lilburn.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's an all the time restaurant, or it's just the one?
It's an all the time restaurant, but that's just
the Thursday thing.
Yeah, the Thursday thing
that they do in all you
Thursday thing.
Yeah.
So
okay,
you
check
know.
that out.
Yep.
What's today?
Sunday.
Oh, it's a Thursday coming up this week.
It
yeah.
is.
So you know, just
you right.
You know, you right. So every Thursday, and you get just sides too, like fried shrimp, boiled shrimp. You know,
fried shrimp is a side.
It's a side,
and it comes.
That keeps coming.
If you order it, it keeps
coming.
Or you get the broiled shrimp. You know what I'm saying? However you
Knock
want
it off, yo.
And you know what I'm saying? You get two sides after that though. You get your French fries or your coleslaw. Or
no, you don't get French fries when you go to a spot like that. That's how they fill you up.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's like.
I stopped getting them.
He was like Steve, like, nah, don't bring me no
more fries.
If you can get fried shrimp as a side, French fries don't even have a spot on the table.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Russ is like, food is great.
Shout out the Browns. They were also
man. Yeah, so it was cool. You know what I mean? Just getting some fellowship time in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's delve into these topics. We have Tyler Perry, who's finally retiring Madea after 20 years. Right?
Well, what? No.
Yeah. Is it 10 years?
Well, maybe 20 total years.
Oh, yeah. It's right around. Right? Yeah, it's about 20 something.
Yeah. He did plays.
Yeah, because
including the plays.
Yeah, including the plays. You know what I'm saying? Cause he was on the chitlin circuit for a long time. Yeah. Before he actually made the mainstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but that's what they call that circuit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
how you guys feeling about that?
I'm glad.
Thank you.
Who wants to go first?
I'm trying to give somebody else an opportunity.
I ain't going first, because then...
All right, well, I'll go first.
All right.
I'll
nothing to say after I tell my part.
I might not.
I think...
What in the world?
For people just listening, I just saw the world's biggest flash in my life.
What happened?
What? We talking about Tyler Perry, man?
Yeah, I see.
What?
That is the wino's dream.
There you go, boy.
Wow.
Where do you see? There's no stashing that. You're just carrying.
Yeah,
you can put. I stashed that.
No, there's something in there. I smell it.
That's like a weapon. You know what I mean? Like,
but usually people hide a flask, but there's no hiding there.
Ain't no hiding there.
Put that. So I took it.
Strap it to your back.
In my pants, like in my belt. And just put it over my shirt over it.
Wow.
So whenever I want, I just pull it out.
Hey,
wow.
Take it to the movies. I had it at homecoming. Shout out to Morehouse. Went to homecoming last
Morehouse.
weekend. We did a thing. Had it there.
Yeah.
Put a whole bottle of Cavassier in there.
Wow.
So
man.
Shout out to my sponsor.
Wow. Yeah,
shout out to the sponsor.
Hey.
Yes.
Sponsored
Shout out
by
to Makers.
Yeah.
As a sponsor. You know what I'm saying? That's how we
see
do
this
it.
flash?
That's how we do it. Matter of fact, what I would like to do is hear what Stevie got to say about
Yes, absolutely.
Tyler Perry. But in the meantime, I'm going to crank this open.
Crank it up now.
Yeah, crank it
See, that's new because you got the wax.
Yeah.
The wax seal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Throw it
like that.
Throw it at the people.
Yeah.
All right,
money.
all right. So,
pass me a glass.
While he's pouring and mixing and all that stuff, I think the whole decision with Madea, it's the end of an era to be sure.
Yeah.
Put his brand on the map.
Uh-huh.
But I think it has a lot to do with timing as far as the contract he's about to enter. He's about to enter this thing with Viacom, so that's BET, that's all the Viacom networks.
Yeah.
So it's probably good timing to kind of like to let it die, let him do more diverse things that he wants to do. So I think it's more like timing than anything. If he was still Lionsgate, it would keep going.
Yeah, because that's what Lionsgate wants to put out. That they just trying to rake in, a few black dollars around holiday time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think it's more timing.
All the grandmas and stuff are going to see it. That's all the time they show up.
Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. I mean, I just think about just how old Madea was when she was introduced as a character.
True.
It's about that time.
She's
lived a good life.
She
lived a good life. It's time for her to go.
She cut up 5 o'clock. She cut up 5 o'clock shot off just in time.
He actually said that. He said, "I don't want to become the same age as Medea's character has been."
Yeah,
right? That's what he said in his interview.
I just pray this helps him grow as a. If he wants to continue to be an actor, like he needs some growth in that area as himself. Because I was watching Madea Boo too, and it was
trash.
I mean, but I think that acting is supposed to be bad.
Boo boo.
Boo boo.
Yeah, boo boo.
Oh my God.
Boo 2, the Boo Boo Show.
You know what? Outside of Madea, I saw his movie. What was the name of his movie as a detective?
Alice Cross.
Trash.
Yeah, that
of
was.
Course.
It was trash.
Trash.
It was
Of
trash.
course.
I just don't.
He do great cameos though.
Yeah,
I can't take him seriously.
Because he always had ugly mustache. You know what I'm saying?
Not
he
even
does.
Like,
yes.
Don't have good haircuts in his movies.
Yeah, the curious hair choices.
I be like, yo, you look like Chris Rock out of face. You know what I'm saying?
It was almost as distracting as Batman's voice.
Yo,
last bat is like, and I can't hear anything you're saying because your voice sucks.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, in Alex Cross, I was like, it's literally Madea without a dress.
Exactly.
Really?
It's Madea trying to be a detective.
It's like
and putting
Tyler Perry's characters that he create are better actors than he is.
That's
as an actual
terrible.
person.
It's true.
Yeah,
terrible.
He's a great writer. I think he's good because as a writer, especially with the comedy stuff, he writes something that it sets itself up for you to sit and laugh at. You know, it's a nice communal thing where people are laughing together at the situations. And it's almost like a stage play written onto a movie. And not a lot of writers can do that comedically. They can't do that. They cannot create that experience.
Yeah.
So that's what I admire about his writing,
I appreciate that.
It doesn't translate to everything.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I don't know, Madea was becoming a tired character. Yeah. Because,
it's like
the same old lines, you know what she gonna say. It's like, after a while, it just gets... you know she got a Glock in her purse, and you know that...
I think it was great for the time in which he came out.
Yeah.
He came out during and right after George Bush.
Yeah, 9/11.
And 9/11.
Yeah.
People needed any type of comedic relief.
Yeah.
And if you could think back to like your best family picnics, you always got that aunt, uncle, or grandma who acts like Madea.
Yeah.
So people laugh at it because it's relatable, and they're like, I can see my grandma doing something like that.
Yeah.
But then after the economy starts doing better, you get President Barack Obama back into office, or into office for the first time, right? And then he gets a second term, and not just the presidency, but everything else. And the economy is doing better, jobs increase, all of that stuff. Yeah. I think Madea started going down, right?
Yeah.
And then we get you all's current president, and so people are still looking for comedic relief.
Trump,
just not in the form of Madea. So I think it was great for when it came out, and I liked Madea when it first came out.
I did.
The only thing I didn't like about Madea, well, two things. One, I hate the fact that the majority of black African-American actors have to dress up like a woman at some point in their career in order to be successful.
Oh my gosh, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. That was the first thing. The second thing was I just hated the fact that he dressed up like a woman and it stuck, and that's what people held on to. It's almost like if Tiger Woods did all of this great stuff, and then one day he like flipped off somebody in the crowd, he will be remembered for being flipping somebody off after he won. So I hate the fact that they grabbed on to Tyler Perry dressing up like a woman, and that's what took off versus the messages behind a lot of his plays.
Exactly.
And it was getting to the point where you guys remember Ernest from the 80s. Like the Ernest character. Madea was starting to become that guy. You know, like, you know what I mean, Bird? You know?
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, we're here. Yeah,
that sounds familiar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar, but I can't put my face.
Yeah, but yeah, it was like kind of like, you know, like Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Scares.
Oh
Stupid.
yes,
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes, I remember that.
Madea is our Ernest P. Worrell.
They didn't let him grow. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's like you stuck.
You just
just like
put him
Pee
in
Wee
different
Herman
situations.
and all those guys.
But then you think about it
like
too,
Mr. Bean and all of them.
Because of Madea, you know, there's been a trend of black men, you know, dressing up as women for you know entertainment. So now it's like. Madea is not like unique, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like everybody is doing it, so it's like now we have multiple people to choose from to where we want to get our entertainment from.
Right.
So it's like, you know, when Madea first came on the scene, it was like, oh my gosh, this is funny, this is hilarious, you know, it went viral, you know, like. You know, Madea is that person who likes to joke, but she's also like to talk about real life issues and stuff like that. So now people are just like using it in a comedic manner. Right. You know, you have, you know, your Sharquisha, you have, you know, I forgot the rest of them, but like, I see their name. I can see how they look in my mind, but I can't put a name to it right now or their made up character. But because of that, people have chosen that as their form of entertainment, which is where they're making most of their following and money and appearances on, you know, ads and things of that nature. So it's not something that's like unique anymore. It's just it's tired. And then you have, you know, Tyler Perry, and Madea really hasn't even evolved as a character. Right. She's the same person in whatever show she is. She loud when she enters a room, you know, she, you know, but she's also at the same time imparting wisdom and, you know, giving whatever type of scripture that she given, because it's not biblical at all.
I think that she was this character who got people's attention in order to convey a message. But people liked the way that she got people's attention so much that that's what spun off. Like, you look at Meet the Browns.
Right.
I can't stand that show. Like, it's a show if you just want to laugh, you just sit there and you laugh, but at the end of the day, there's no message. It doesn't hold a candle to like Family Matters, Full House, Fresh Prince. I remember like the serious shows of Fresh Prince.
Oh yeah,
where it's
especially
like
the dad.
You watch 2 or 3 shows because it's just hilarious. But every 2 or 3 shows, maybe even every other show, it was going to be a conversation about drugs. Or it was going to be a conversation about somebody running away from home. Or somebody fighting one of their family. Like, it was going to be something you're like,
they really want to
say I see this daily.
Will Smith is crying. I remember the episode where Will Smith was boo-hooing. And it like panned out and showed Alfonso Rivera like giving him a hug. And then it showed the crowd, and everybody in the crowd was just like,
wow.
This is real.
Yeah,
you'll never see that on anything in relation to Madea or Tyler Perry. Bring it back.
But I, you know, that dude, and I also, you know, like me, honestly, man, like I just like to watch stuff that broadens my mind and kind of hit home. Just like that's why, you know, I went the 3 times I went to a Tyler Perry movie with that. I was going there just because my date wanted to go there. It wasn't because I wanted to. The most times she'd be like, I'd be like,
she said date, not wife. So
you know what I'm saying? That was pre-wife. Man, my wife, that was back
pre-wife.
Yeah, pre-wife.
But Siobhan doesn't play that, huh?
Nah, she don't play that. She don't even like Madea like that
either. Nothing about Madea.
Yeah, but you know, that's why I like shows like Blackish and stuff like that.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I love that show,
man. Like, they provide the funny, but they put that real life in there. Because even if you're sitting even if you listen to the conversations that they're having behind the comedy when they're in the boardroom and stuff like that, and
it's real life.
It's real life. Like you be like laughing, but then you be like, oh,
this is
this is actually real. That's probably what they think. But you know what I mean. But Madea don't do that. You know what I'm saying? They did it for a while, but just like sometimes you have to broaden your character. That's why I think it's time for that just to die. And to find something else, find another outlet, or just put people on. I just think Tyler Perry needs to stay behind the camera.
Yeah,
because he can't.
Yeah, I agree. Just like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart put a lot of people on.
Oh yeah.
All of his friends have been either in a movie, on his TV show, the TV show where he sits in the ice bath, you guys. That joint is hilarious, and all of his friends like hop on there. They get paid a couple coins. He got movies. Tiffany Haddish was coming up in her movie. But the one thing I will say that I love about Tyler Perry in general, just not, Madea, if we could break away from that, is the fact that when he came and built that huge studio in Atlanta, he brought so many jobs here.
So many.
Every time you throw a rock, it hit 2 or 3 people that worked at Tyler Perry's studio. Yeah, he put Union City on the map and brought a lot of jobs. So I hope that with the separation of Madea, it's also not a separation of work for all of these people. I hope the studios continues to produce at the same level. And it's not like they have to grow back up under a different label. Because that'll suck. We all want people to have jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why, like I was saying, I don't want them to like just quit, but I would rather see, because he does convey stories well. I think he has a talent for that. I just think he is more producer, than actor.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what I look forward to seeing in him.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy, like my favorite 2 Tyler Perry ones are both non-Madea movies that I think about, and that's Why Did I Get Married? The original one.
Oh yeah, the original.
The sequel one was garbage. And The Family That Prays, to me, was a solid
that was
film.
I was thinking about War Room.
Yeah, that's good too.
War Room was really good.
But
War Room wasn't
it.
But I'm thinking about War Room. I don't think I saw The Family That Prays.
Yeah, The Family That Prays.
Yeah,
that was a solid film.
That was solid. That was different. That was a different look for him too.
Exactly.
And I was just like, that was not what I thought it was going to be.
Because you had this kind of romantic drama, and then you had the aside with the two, with Alfred Woodard and Kathy Bates. There was some real chemistry there that they really let play out on camera. So it was entertaining to watch.
Put some more stuff out like that.
Like that. Yeah. And not Single Moms Club. Definitely not Single Moms Club. That was.
Yeah, I mean, but he could. It went. You know what I'm saying? No, man, bump that, man. Let's go to the next one.
Oh my gosh. So we have this amazing little girl, 13 years old, already an author of 2 books. And selling pieces that range from $20 to $100.
Yeah.
Originally painted and created by her. Cameron Green. Thoughts?
Yeah. First of all, she gets a couple of snaps.
Yeah, she gets some snaps.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah, you doing what you're supposed to do because I feel like this at the time of like the internet age and all that stuff. Like it's so. If you allow your child to actually find their niche early and they are able to dive into it and actually have a way made for them to be able to produce, you know what I'm saying, and put that stuff out there, they can sell that stuff. Because I guarantee you most of the things she sells stuff is just through her IG.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like the book she had, just like it's so easy to make it, you know what I'm saying? Using the internet, if you use it properly, put the right work ethic towards that and not just be fluff. Because I see a lot of people put a lot of stuff out of there, but you be like, yo, that thing ain't really yielding fruit because you're not really authentic about it.
Yeah.
You're trying to do something to make money and you're not doing what you love.
Your passion,
what your passion is. So her being able to use her passion, do her passion, because I guarantee she's doing it because she loves it. And not because it's something that she's really trying to do, because that's a mistake that most people make. And I'm glad to see that she has people around her to nurture her talent. And even though one thing I say and I read and I hope not happens is that her family pushes her to go streamline. What I would say, because most people say grow up, get out of high school, go to college. You know what I'm saying? But if she is already good at what she do, she just need to be around people, find people that she mentors that can help her through the business. You know what I'm saying? Grow that way. Instead of because she already has the experience, she's gaining it now. She's already selling, she already got books and stuff like that, so she already on her way. Just help her to find mentors, you know what I'm saying, that will grow her in her field, help her learn the rigorous hard parts about the business so she can be able to make it, because that's such a old way of thinking. It's just like high school, college, all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because it's other ways to hustle now. Yeah. It's just not, you don't work hard for somebody for 20, 30 years and you...
In a factory.
You live and you make enough to make a living. Because Or, you know, because, like, I don't believe, like, and I don't like to say this either, but I don't think total, like, people try to find happiness. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just got to be happy doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until you figure out your passion, because you'll never truly be happy until you figure out what your purpose to do. You know what I'm saying? So work through that, get to that, and build. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Grow through the avenues you need to grow through, and it don't necessarily have to be education, because she already doing good what she doing. You know what I'm saying? She just need to learn the tools of the trade.
I think two things that come to mind when you just said that. The first thing is, I think happiness, you find happiness through an afterthought. Like nobody sits on their couch and says, I'm going to go climb Stone Mountain and be happy. Yeah. It's more so like, yo, it was so much fun climbing Stone Mountain. Like, that was dope. That's then true. You replicate that process. Yeah. Right. So I doubt she was, just sitting at home one day at the age of 6 or 7 was like, I'm going to draw a picture and it's going to make me happy. She probably just started drawing, and then she looked at a bunch of them and was like, yo, this is super fun. Yeah. And then the second part is, I'd love to give a shout. I don't know her mom or her dad or whoever's helping raise her. Yeah. But I would love to give a shout out to them, because ultimately they're responsible for her public relations. Like all of her PR, her being able to sell stuff. Yeah. There was no Instagram when I was 13. Right. And I can only imagine if there was an Instagram when I was 13, I wouldn't have been on it. Yeah. So the fact that her mom, dad, whoever's raising her is putting her out there, I think that's amazing. Yeah. Because I don't want to offend anybody that's listening or watching it, but black people have not had that niche throughout history. That's true. If I started drawing or something like that, my mom wasn't always like, oh, that's going to be dope, you need to keep doing that. Yeah. She was more so like, well, I never went to college, so this is the route that you need to take, because all of these other people are doing it, so it has to be where success lies. Yeah. Exactly. Until other people, like, outside of the family were like, wow, that cooking thing is really taking off for your son. And then she's like, yeah, I guess it is. Right. And then I start doing bigger and badder and amazing things. Yeah, yeah. And she's like, that's my son. I love my mom. This is not a disclaimer by far. Yeah. My mom has been the wind at my sails for a long time. Yeah. But I didn't wake up one day and say, like, I'm going to cook because it makes me happy. Yeah. I was cooking for an extended period of time. Yeah. And then I one day looked back and I was like, what has made me the happiest in my life? And it was cooking. Yeah. So now that's what I do. And that's my passion. That's good. But those people who came out of high school, like, I'm going to be a chef because, like, I see Anthony Bourdain, R.I.P., or I see Rachel Ray, or I see Emeril Lagasse. I see how happy they are, so I'm going to go chase after it. A lot of people out there aren't happy. They're just the face of other people's dreams who told them this is what you should do. Wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So true, so true. And I just think that, I think what I appreciate about this the most is that this is becoming a trend, actually, because I was at an event that I was volunteering the weekend before last, and there was a 11-year-old author that was basically presenting her book. It's a 30-page book. She signed it for me. Wow. All she requested was a review on Amazon. So her book is available on Amazon as well. Wow. It's called Adeline. I think that's what it's called, Adeline or Adeline. Yeah. But anyways, was basically started with her just writing stories. She loved telling stories, and so this inspired her to actually write a 30-page book. And when she was just speaking, she was just saying, like, a lot of the times people aren't able to have the space to express themselves and how they truly feel, or express themselves in, like, the stories they want to tell. And she wants to be that inspiration and that voice for people not only her age, but just anybody who is sitting on a dream or something that they want to go after, but they're not doing it because they're stopping themselves, or they're listening to outside voices that's telling them no, like that's not possible. Right. So I just feel like this is the beginning of just having somebody that young, be an inspiration not only to their age group, but to the entire world. And I don't see that, a lot. Like, I mean, even if it's happening, it's not, in media a lot anyway, for that matter. So for her to just be like, this is what I love to do, and this is what I'm going to do with it, and having that team, whether it's her parents or, people at the school, or even her, friends, you know, her fellow peers who are also on this journey with her as well. Yeah. You know, I hope that it would just start like a trend of just like people like, oh yeah, I do draw. Let me see what I can do with this, and you know, because I feel like for me too, like I started playing the piano when I was 7. Yeah. Who's to know that I could be like because it was I started with classical music, and I would have kept through that. I could be some type of, you know, maestro, and you know, but I'm grateful nonetheless. You know, God continues to guide all of our paths, and you know, sometimes He puts us in contact with people that's, you know, helps awaken the dream that's within us. But it's so helpful when people recognize it at a young age and are able to steer them through that. So it's like this becomes the opportunity where like this is her business. She don't have to go to school. She doesn't have to do all these things that society says you're born, you're raised, you start school at a certain age, you know, and you go through school, and then you go to college, and then you go back if you want to go get your master's, and then you go back if you want to get your doctor. You have all these degrees and stuff, but then you can't really do anything with it. It's like you have to know somebody that knows somebody to get in the industry, especially within the film industry. You got to know somebody that knows somebody, you know, or you just have to be really good at what you do and standing out, you know, to, you know, be in a type of industry like that. But you can have all the degrees these days, but it's like, you can't even land the job that you desire.
I know people that have degrees and don't even use them.
They use them for wallpaper.
Yeah, and you know what I mean, because you know I feel like that too, and we don't say this before on the show. Like when parents notice something that their kid is good at, but not necessarily fit in their mold, don't steer them away from it. Just let it develop. Let a child be a child. Children are curious naturally. You know what I mean? Because they honestly trying to find their way through life. They're trying to find their identities, and it's up to, just like you said, it's up to their parents to nurture them things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of times parents try to get their kids to relive the life that they thought they should have lived.
Yeah, trying to live vicariously through the kids.
If they blew out their knee in high school and didn't get that football scholarship, then a lot of times they want their son to play football and to go to, you know, high school and play football and college and play football. And the kid might be the world's next pianist. Right. The kid might be the next, you know, saxophonist or whoever, the next president, but we miss him, and we end up with presidents like we have now because the person that was supposed to be in that spot was steered wrong 40 years ago. And it's probably, you know, making clay bowls somewhere in Bangladesh.
Exactly.
Who knows? I was totally off the cuff right there.
You went a long way.
I don't know anybody in Bangladesh making bowls, but it might have been the president.
I mean, just from a perspective of somebody who does visual arts. Yeah. I got started in it when I was about 8. You know, just drawing, and my mom nurtured it. She had me in classes or something like that, like got me in a caricature class just to see what I could do with it. But my dad, you know, he comes from like working with his hands and stuff like that.
Jamaica.
And you know, and I'm a son of immigrants too on top of that. So college is a golden ticket. You know what I mean? That was just the mentality when you come from another country and make it in America. It's like, okay, get yourself some education. Yeah. So my dad was just like, well, what money can you make with that? You know, what straight line career can you make with that? You know what I mean? And when I couldn't answer him. So, you know what I mean? Because I was just like, I'm going to have to...
You don't know what you don't know?
Exactly. You don't know what you don't know. Because, like, for me, it was all about animation. You know, like, that's what I wanted to get into. But, of course... There were no animation studios in Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't have to go to California at that time. That's right. Yeah. I had to go to Florida or California or Japan. Now, there's studios here, you know, so who knows, you know, if I knew then what I knew now, you know. You know, but that was my parents' mentality. It's like go to college and do something.
Even like for me myself, it's just like, you know, I am, but I'm just speaking in past tense. I was a very intelligent child, you know what I mean? Like, I was good with pretty much everything I put my mind towards. And everybody just esteemed for me to go to college, but lo and behold, I hated school.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I hated school. And I tried to go to school and do what I was supposed to do. And I end up just fizzling out because I was just like, I can't stand going to class. Can I just go to labs? You know what I mean? Because I enjoy touching stuff, building circuit boards and, building, you know what I'm saying? What they call those trains? I can't remember. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying? IEEE something. But anyway, I enjoyed doing that, but I just hated class. But I still didn't want to do that in the first place because I was just like, I just can't see me sitting at a desk. You know what I mean? Just staring at something for hours trying to figure it out. I was like, I probably end up setting this whole building on fire.
Fighting every day.
You know what I mean? But I did, and I kind of forgot as a child. I was like, man, I always felt like I was going to be famous for speaking or something like that because that's just kind of like what my mind always went to, just me standing up in front of people, being charismatic, talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just doing it. I didn't have a career plan for it. I just knew that I was good at talking. I like making people laugh, and I like to put, you know what I'm saying, the knowledge that and the wisdom that I have gained in life into real life situations, try to make it applicable with it, at least something to digest.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now, this year is the first time I actually just started tapping into that. But, I've always been good at starting businesses. I've always been good at just stepping out. I don't know, like I tell my wife, I was like, man, I just been blessed. I just know how to, I see something, I know how to make money from it. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So I use that. That's my gift as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it's just like, this was a hobby at first, but now I see a means for it. Because even just like we was at, at your viewing party last night, and just to see the sound studio that Dave had, I was just like, dang, man. And he had that flashing recording. I could not take my eyes off that studio. Because y'all were talking, I was just like, dang, man, that's what I want right there. The whole little soundproof room with the studio inside of it, and just being able to be syndicated and heard all across America. That's just like one of my dreams. You know what I mean? Like, and just see that I'm working for that. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying, a blessing as well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that little girl is able to do that, man.
Yeah.
Like, at her age, like, to be able to grab this, and just to put this out here, maybe her parents hear it, maybe not, but, just prepare her for the hard times as well. Because now this is an up time.
Yeah,
absolutely. Honeymoon phase.
You know what I mean? This is a honeymoon. Everything is going your way. You got people buying your paintings. You got your 2 books, stuff like that. But it's going to come a season where you're in the valley. You know what I mean?
Somebody's going to criticize something in her book. It's going to test the credibility.
Exactly.
And we're not speaking ill upon her.
Exactly.
It's just experience.
Not.
It happens to everybody. For every up, there's a down. So I hope that she can ride the wave and she can stay on top forever, really. Yeah. But we just know life is not like that.
Yeah.
At some point, she's going to face some criticism.
Exactly. So, just prepare her mind and then strengthen her to get ready for that, because, like I always tell people, I know everybody that don't like me. And the people that claim that they really like me, I kind of let them sideways. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the people that rock with me, and I know what earnestness look like. I guess that's the word. Yeah. But, you know what I mean?
Everybody just kind of looked up. Like,
yeah. But I know what that looked like, you know what I mean? But I tell, I ain't everybody cup of tea, you know what I'm saying? And the one thing I learned these 35 years I've been alive, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Because I even like that Keegan said that, like, I know this show ain't for everybody, but that's okay. You know what I mean? This was what put on my heart to do. So I'm doing it. Whoever rock with it. Whoever don't, they don't. You know what I mean? And that's okay.
These are facts. I think one of the things that I appreciate about the young author that spoke at the event, because she did receive, like, negative criticism on Amazon. Yeah. And I was talking to her about it, and she's like, you know what? Like, I'm doing what I love, so it's expected. So for me, that was just so powerful, because, I mean, just with anything that you put out, there's always going to be somebody that has something negative to say.
Of course.
And so for her to already be prepared for that, and her mom was like, like her mom was affected more than she was.
You already knew that.
Yeah, I'm about to say you already knew.
My baby's
Exactly.
Who wrote that?
Put your address on Amazon right now.
Reader 624.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, cause even like you got that, we're in the age of trolls.
Yeah.
Some people just hate on you just cause they were like,
A young
you know
black
what, you
woman
smiling, you
doing her
look
thing?
happy. You know what I'm saying?
You're not
I'm
happy.
finna thumb thug on you, homie.
Thumb thug.
You know what I'm saying?
Dumb thugging.
Right?
Look, D, if I could go back to something else that you said,
Yeah.
I feel what's very important that a lot of times we miss is, and I'll use you as an example.
Yeah.
And this is, you'll understand because I've known you for a long time. You know I'm never shooting down your dream.
Yeah.
If your dream is to have a studio with the light flashing and, you know, a nice set of mics and all of this stuff, I think a lot of times we get fixated on the stuff and not the message. And we might say like, my goal is to have this. But really it's my goal is to have this to convey this message to this many people. Or my goal is to touch this many people.
Yeah.
Right.
So instead of, and this goes back to people in general, instead of people thinking like, I want this and I got to have this, instead of chasing your time or spending your time chasing after that goal, you align yourself with people like, what's his name who owns the studio?
Dave.
You align yourself with people like Dave. You guys become friends, associates, business partners, whatever, and now you have it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to spend the next 8 years, 3 years or whatever, chasing after having a studio. And I've done that. Like I saw a yacht when I watched, I think Bad Boys 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I saw them on a yacht, and I was like, bruh, I want to have yacht parties. Like that just looks dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't own a yacht.
Right.
But I've had 4 yacht parties.
Mm-hmm.
You were at a couple of them.
Yeah.
They was cold.
They was
Right or wrong.
Yeah, they was.
They
was
look cold.
nice.
I didn't. I wasn't
Some of
there.
the greatest times. They were two
all
of my
nice.
best memories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
One time we had so many people show up for the yacht party, we had to get a second yacht. And it was literally 2 yachts side by side for a 32. I think that was like for my 29th birthday. We had 2 yachts side by side. And people was, black folks can't have that nice. It was throwing grapes from one yacht to the other, Steve. I'm serious.
Yeah, man.
My boy
It was a
Trent,
good time.
it was throwing grapes from one yacht to the other.
Yeah.
So
And I was like, man, you can't give us nothing, man.
No.
Yeah.
But I go to say a yacht costs $750,000.
Yeah.
But I was able to utilize them to enjoy the experience and
Yeah.
allow people to come onto a yacht.
Yeah.
People who didn't even know what a yacht was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they enjoy that experience. They were enlightened. So it's not always about like the stuff. A lot of times it's about the message, right? That you're trying to convey or the experience.
Yeah.
People say, I want enough money to have a private jet so I can fly anywhere around the world. Well, take that middle part out.
Yeah.
You don't have to own a jet.
Right.
I cook for a couple of clients and I've been on private jets a couple of times. And this ain't toot my own horn, but that's one thing I wanted to
That's real
do.
life though.
I was like, man, I want to be able to go when I want to.
Yeah.
Now I can. So anyway, this young lady, I hope, getting back to the source, I hope that her parents are preparing her for the times.
Yeah.
But I also hope whatever her game plan is, I hope one that it's hers and not her parents.
Right.
But whatever it is, I hope that she can reach it regardless
Yeah.
of whether or not the books sell or
Mm-hmm.
people stop buying paintings or, I think it's amazing. I think Oprah, did she have was she in communication with Oprah? Did I read that somewhere? Did I just make that up?
I didn't read
I
that.
didn't read that, but
That's how
We're going to speak into
well, we're gonna speak that into existence.
Oprah?
That-
Yeah,
You
Oprah,
listening.
you was around here knocking on doors.
You was in Marietta. You ain't tell me you was coming,
Tell
Oprah.
me,
Hello?
I'm finna roll up
Hello?
on you. Like, give me $1.
Shoot.
You know what I mean? I know I could.
But yeah.
Oprah dollar could turn into $1 million.
A million real quick.
Yeah, I'm
Oprah
saying.
probably. Oprah, do you carry ones?
Exactly. Oprah, you can stand beside Oprah
And just make money.
and just make money. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to be
Somebody
doing
pull out
nothing.
$20 at the grocery store. Wasn't you that person beside Oprah?
Exactly.
Just hand you $20.
Like, dang, man. Yeah, I was that. That was me on TV. You know what I'm saying? If you want some of this Oprah sweat, you know what I'm saying? Or Oprah essence.
I can use a
I got
bottle of
some on
Oprah
my
sweat.
hand.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I just stand touching people in their heads. Just like, yeah, Oprah essence.
Sacrilegious.
Just anointing people with
Yeah,
Oprah
Oprah
sweat.
essence.
Oprah sweat.
Oprah essence. Come get
You
some
draw
Oprah
a cross in their forehead
essence.
and
Yeah,
everything.
you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I dipped this hand.
You
in
remember
this.
when you was a kid and they used to put the oil on your forehead?
Oh my
And they used to
God.
run down into your eye.
Oh,
and you
you're
pray
right.
right there.
I'd be like, yo.
You put your head back.
And
just
they used
so
to
that-
try to make me fall, but I wouldn't fall.
Yeah, they used to
know what
push
I'm
you
saying?
back.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and
I would just fall.
I ain't doing
I
nothing.
ain't doing nothing.
Side
Whole
note.
dancing, that's how him
Nothing.
use.
Side note.
There you go.
Side note. All ministers, please please, please, please
Stop
brush your
touching my
teeth
head.
Oh,
on Sunday
Jesus.
morning.
Brush your tongue.
And if you
Jesus.
If you didn't, please put a mint or 3 in your mouth.
If your tongue smells
Alcohol.
like the Baptist tree, you cannot speak things into existence in someone's face. So you need some toothbrush assistance.
If your mouth smell like yesterday's trash truck juice in the summertime,
This one.
do not speak no life into me because I smell only death.
Oh, let me tell you, my whole soul gonna leave my body. That's the only way. That's the reason why I fell.
You're gonna kill me with that and send me to heaven.
If your breath parts like soul and spirit, like the scriptures, man, you cannot speak life into existence.
If your breath smell like the dead bones in them valley before they call them back to life,
Jesus.
Oh, back away from me. Moonwalk yourself to some alcohol.
Moonwalk your feet away. Jesus.
You know.
You need to get a deacon on that.
Yes, deacon reverend.
Oh man, the deacons be with that man. I used to know
You
that.
need to
One of them 20 people there on stage.
Yeah. You need to tag team like Royal Rumble. Tag your man inside, okay?
Tag your man in the mouth.
Your breath smell like fresh trout pee-pee.
Exactly.
You need to tag your man. Tag your man. Let him speak to me. Anoint me.
Anoint your mouth. Baptize your mouth in Listerine.
Baptize your tongue.
With the gold kind, not the green kind.
Oh man, that gold kind. Y'all meat on fire.
No fresh minty. We need the gold kind.
You need the medicated kind.
Yeah, the gold kind will get you pulled over for a DUI. Yes, it will.
Yeah, that gold kind.
I speak from experience. Went to jail over Listerine.
Oh my goodness.
That gold kind set your whole mouth
on fire. Yeah. Turn your gums raw like eating Frosted Flakes.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Me speak Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch is the West. Captain Crunch is the West.
You feel like you just chewed on razor blade.
Boy,
you know what I'm saying?
It feels like you have been scratching your gums after Captain Crunch. I don't eat them anymore. Crunch berries, oops, all berries.
Yeah.
Oops, all berries. I don't eat them. Peanut butter. I don't touch it.
Man, them taste.
No, I'm sorry. I'll take it for the peanut butter. I'll take it for the peanut butter.
If your mouth smell like soaked homeless knees.
Oh my goodness.
For 3 days.
I have a question. I posed the question.
Yes.
How do you know what soaked homeless knees smell like?
I just picture in my mind. So you know how I know? It's this detox stuff I tell Lamella about on the way here.
Sure.
That Siobhan made me drink. It's like 2 scoops of powder. It tastes like what soaked homeless knees that ain't bathed in 20 years.
I think I
taste like. My mouth. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, like I promise you, that is a homeless dude knees named Rollo Dust in that jar.
So tell me again how the bones in the knees absorb the skin
more than
the rest of the skin tissue?
No, it's the skin. It's the skin actually. It's like he in the jacuzzi deep. You know what I'm saying? And just in hot water soaking them homeless knees. Getting some of that rusty essence off the knee. You know what I'm saying? And then they dry it out, dehydrate that water, and put it into this jar and call it detoxing. And they make you take 2 scoops of it before you go to sleep, so you get homeless Rollo knee essence in your mouth.
I am completely surprised at this process. It sounds more difficult than making crack.
And now the world knows.
I am not speaking from experience with that.
For the record.
For the record, if the feds are listening, I will never make crack.
And the feds are listening.
Never.
I
may or may not have done that.
Never make crack again.
So let's get into our main event.
Okay.
Our special
guest.
guest.
The main event?
Yeah, this is main event.
You the main event.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah. Chef Jarvis in the building.
Yeah. Chef Harvey, yeah. Is that Spanish for Jarvis?
That's not even close. It's not even spelled.
Javier is Spanish for Xavier.
For real?
Wow.
You speak El Spanish, cuz?
sorry to the dude at the dock in Ben Houston that I'd be doing that too all the time. Dang, I'm wrong.
Can you say racist?
No wonder he look at me like I'm crazy because I was like, hey, that's Spanish for Jarvis, right?
My man said Javier.
Right.
He's just like, he pays the co-pay. So.
Is Darius Spanish for Matthew?
Actually, one girl told me back in the day, you know what I mean? She was like, my Spanish name is pronounced Dario. That's what she told me. It may be wrong.
Was she Spanish?
Yeah, she was a Honduran. Yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, so Jarvis.
Yeah, hey, Mel. What's up, girl?
What up, Chef Jarvis?
So tell us about yourself. Where you're into, what do you do?
Where you out of right now?
Where you be?
I'm here in Atlanta. So I have several clients that I cook for here in Atlanta primarily. And I've gained that clientele base over the past, let's see, it's 2018, so 17 years. I've gained a nice little base here in Atlanta. So there are people who call me to do meal prep, anything from meal prep to large events. I just did an event yesterday out in Swanee. It was like driving to Ethiopia from Texas.
Oh, good God. Can you drive across the water?
Let me tell you something.
Yeah. Hey, you got to catch
Swanee was far.
Swanee was far. Yeah, so I didn't get out there. So my domestic, well, I'll say my local span reaches out to places like Swanee and down to Griffin and Macon and things like that. But yeah, I just cook for clients here in Atlanta, and then whenever I have international clients that travel, I travel with them. So I went to Park City, Utah, and that was several weeks ago. As a matter of fact, I was in Park City when my sister had the baby, so that was about 2-3 weeks ago. And in January, I'll be going to A Coruña, Spain, by way of Milan, to cook for the Spanish basketball team. Yeah, A Coruña, Spain.
Wow.
El Español.
Here we go with that again. You just lost 4 followers. You speak fluent Spanish.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm actually going to be doing my Babbel Spanish courses, so I will be coming to y'all with some official, you know what I'm saying, Spanish in a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? ¿Qué tal?
What?
Wow. You just said ¿Qué tal? That's how are you? Or what's up?
I know.
It's literally what's up.
Yeah, it's literally what's up.
Pero, yo hablo español muy bueno porque yo trabajando en España.
Estoy bien.
Si tú entiendes.
Estoy bien.
Everything is good.
Yeah.
Anybody else speak Spanish? Or am I just talking to myself?
You really talking to yourself.
You don't speak Spanish.
I really don't.
What can you do?
Yeah, sorry everybody, because I'm going to tell you, I have offended some people across the... people probably think I voted for Trump, man, somewhere out here in Cartersville somewhere.
The name we don't speak of, he is the current president.
Yeah.
Say his name.
The Agent Orange.
Agent.
You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez. It's getting worse.
You know what I'm saying? Side swoop. Armpit hair head, boy.
So, what do you feel are some of the challenges that you face in just getting to where you are right now?
Oh, one is my skin color. I don't want to be shy about that.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be shy.
Being black has really thwarted my growth in a lot of areas. As far as culinary arts business, there are some people who book me for an event, and I wear my logo. This just happened last night. All right, so I have my chef coat on.
Right.
Pardon me. I have my chef coat on. And it has my logo on it, and my logo just says like Chef Jarvis Belton on it, and it says Executive Chef. And up underneath it says LODS, which stands for Leftovers Dinner Series, right? That's the pop-up dinner that I do here in Atlanta.
Right.
Those are delicious.
So
amazing.
And you came way back when, because I have pictures of you sitting in my house on a couch.
Yeah.
When
I
was
have your
there.
menus that you.
You still have some of the menus? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was. You guys were early advocates of the Leftovers Dinner Series.
I got to start back coming in. I told you going to give me my money back.
Oh. Okay, that's a marital issue that we're going to right from the record. We'll do that, Steve. Edit that part. Okay.
We can't edit it on the live.
Jeez.
Oh snap! Never mind.
Hey, Sean.
What's up, baby cakes? You know what I mean? You know everything I say around Jarvis is just strict.
Don't put me in that.
No. Jarvis made me say
no. But anyway, I'm having another pop-up dinner series on the 30th of this month, the 1st and the 2nd of next month. Okay. So you guys can hop on my Facebook page, Chef Jarvis Belton, or my Instagram at Your Chef's Favorite. Follow me. You'll see some flyers pop up. It's the first 20 people to register. All of them sell out, so please hop in early. All right, that's my quick little blurb. But just last night, excuse me, We literally coughed at the same time.
Yeah, I did.
Twinning.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Throat clearing twins.
Yeah, throat clearing twins. And then all of the guys here have on burgundy or maroon pants.
The Maroon 3.
Pant triplets.
You know what I'm saying?
Just point that phrase.
Yeah.
Pay me right now.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I
Man.
mean?
Anyway, I had my chef coat on yesterday, and one of the ladies who doesn't look like us walked up to me, and she goes, older lady, oh, hey, yeah, who are you with again?
From the old South?
Yeah, from deep down,
Yeah.
where you can't get caught after the sun goes down. I said, oh, I'm Chef Jarvis, I own the company. And the face that she gave me,
Oh, God.
it was like,
What?
with that accompanied silence,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what's happening? Do you see things that I don't see? Like, what are you looking at? And I was like, is there something I can help you with? And she repeated, like, what company are you with? I said, I own the company. She literally turned around and walked away from me.
Gee,
That was the end of our conversation.
yeah.
Wow.
She walked away. I think that sometimes people don't expect people of color
Yeah.
to be as verbacious or upfront or
Yeah.
professional
Yeah.
as they are.
Yeah.
So then when you
100%.
are, they think that you have immediately been trained,
Yes.
air quotes,
Right.
by someone who doesn't look like you.
Yeah.
So when she got back to a table, and I could read lips from across the room. My mom used to sing on the choir stand when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And she used to give me that, like, if
you don't sit down.
your behind down right now, I swear to God, I'm going to come over there. And I knew everything she was saying.
Yeah.
Right.
So I knew at a long time ago, early age, how to read lips. And she told her husband, like, from across the room, she looked back and pointed. And she said, can you believe that guy owns his own catering company?
Wow.
As if it's, like, really hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we went on, we progressed through the night. The food was amazing. Like, and it wasn't just me cooking it. I have a staff that helps me cook and serve and all of that. So it
very
wasn't just me. My
professional
staff, my crew is amazing. Shout out to them.
He go hard. They go hard.
but-
I've seen them work.
But at the end of the night, like, people were just like ranting and raving about it. She was the only person that didn't come up and shake my hand.
Hater alert.
Yeah, she's the only person that didn't come up and say like, "Hey, thanks for the
Hello.
food. Everything was great." So I've experienced that a lot, and this is what I've done, right? Because you mentioned it earlier. You said everybody won't like you,
Yeah.
right? I think you're cool. It's
Yeah.
partially because we have the same personality,
Yeah.
but I realized that 20% of people will not like me, and that's a gracious number, right? It might be 30 sometimes. It might be
Yeah.
10. Who cares? at
Depending
that
on
point?
what room you walk
Depends
in.
on which room
Yeah.
you're in,
Yeah.
right? So I realized that if I feed 100 people,
Yeah.
there's about 20 plates that are going to come back with food still on them. Sometimes it's a lot. Most times it's a lot less. But if I put out my food, and also side note, I have ADD. If you guys haven't figured that out.
Yeah.
Ooh, a bird.
Yeah, I do it too. I have it as well.
Culinary. So chefs are artists,
Yeah.
right? It's
They are.
culinary art.
Yeah.
So the same as somebody paints a picture.
Yeah.
And then they put it up on a wall,
His
and
paint's
they
on the
allow
list.
people to go judge it
Yeah.
and say like, "What is this?" Or like, "Huh, that's pretty cool, but you should have did that."
Yeah.
Right? They don't even have to be at the actual museum.
Yeah.
I have to be there while people look at what I've created on a plate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I can't help but to read their facial expressions when they go like, either it's right,
Yeah.
very few and far in between,
Yeah.
Right.
or it's like, oh my gosh, I just gotta take a picture. Oh, this is gonna be on Instagram and Yelp and Snapchat and all of that.
Exactly.
So artists are sensitive about their things, and
Yes, they are.
I've folded into that. I'm
Yeah.
sensitive about the food that I create. You guys can tell me you don't like my hat. I could care less,
Yeah.
right? But when I cook something and I put it on a plate, and you say like, yeah, it was only one person last night that was like, your food was really salty, and I'm like, your mustache don't match your beard. So there's that part, like,
That part.
but.
Not
I also
face, little
noticed.
boy.
I also noticed that he had like black lips and his hands were. He had indicators that he smoked.
Yeah.
Right, which means
Yeah,
his
but-
taste.
His
Taste
buds
buds is raggedy.
Right.
shot.
So I
Nope.
took it with a grain of salt because when he said it, the people
grain
that were
of
sitting,
salt.
right,
Literally.
a grain of salt. The people that were sitting around him looked at him and were like,
What are you talking about?
Talking about Smokey Robinson.
he's by himself, right?
Right.
We're not with him.
Yeah.
Right? And
With
he
Smokey
represented that 20% that doesn't like my
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
But his plate was clean.
Hey,
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Did you have to eat it all
It's
before
a
you
little
ate
salty,
it?
but
You culinary trolling.
Right.
Because you ate all of it, you probably licked your plate.
Right.
You probably scraping the porcelain on your dish, just hoping to get another piece of residue
there
on
are
your
people
fork.
who they'll find and this is also, you probably got more questions for me, but I like this question.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are people who use current events as bartering or negotiating power for future events, and then the future event never happens.
Wow.
Hey, let me put some earth to that.
Yeah.
I say, Steve, put me on the show. D, Mel, put me on the show.
Right.
And if you do, I'll introduce you to Oprah.
Right.
Yeah.
You put me on the show for free. I promote my pop-up dinner, and then I never introduce you to Oprah. That's a terrible way to do business.
Yeah.
So people will find something to complain about and say, your food was salty, but you ate everything.
Yeah.
And then they'll follow up and say, I want you to do a Christmas party here, but since my experience wasn't immaculate this time, I would like a 20% off. Right?
Right.
And then if you do that Christmas party and you're dope at the Christmas party, you prove yourself at the Christmas party, we have another event for Valentine's Day that we want to talk to you about.
Right.
So essentially, the onus is on me to do the Christmas party at a 20% discount,
Right.
in anticipation of getting the Valentine's Day party, which they've already hired the chef for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things on me is like, as an up and coming, as an established culinary artist, a chef in this area, I have to be able to discern whether or not someone is genuinely looking to establish a business relationship or if they're just trying to take advantage.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's the latter of the two.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
people say like, oh, can you donate food for this board meeting of 10? And if they like the food, then they'll hire you for the Christmas party, which could bring you $12,000.
Right.
Sometimes I've had to just say no. I'm not donating food for these 12
I'm not
people.
gonna give you free food like you know, and that boy, I can go on forever. Like that.
So could I. And that's been one of the hardest things in Atlanta, because you got people trying to get food left and right for free.
Yep.
Or they lowball the budget. Later today, asked me if I could cater a 2-day Tennessee cabin trip. It's 2 days. It's 20 people. They got to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Just go around really quick and say, what do you think the budget was? 2 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 20 people. What's the overall budget that she was going to write me a check for?
$500.
I'm gonna ask you first of all, and I know this may sound racist, black or white?
Like,
500.
Maybe 1,000.
1,000.
Maybe.
Stevie, what you say?
I'd say, well, the number she threw out to you?
What did she say to me?
Okay, $1,500.
You got a lot of faith in
You
your
have a
skin
lot
color,
of
brother.
faith in your skin color.
Yeah.
You got
'cause
faith
I'm
in
like,
your
I'll
hey,
shoot. I'll say
my
500.
high ball is 1,000, but I'm hitting around your like your number is.
I didn't
it
want to
feels
say what
right.
they said.
Your number feel right. You know what I'm saying?
If we were on price that was right, she would have got it. It was $625.
Wow.
She said 6.
Yo,
What's
you
the
said
25?
that.
What's the 25 for? Just shoot for 700.
The 25 was gas money from here to
Get
Tennessee.
out! Gas money?
Yo, do you see what he drives?
You see what?
Gas money.
That won't even fit.
That's a quarter of a tank.
That's enough gas to get me to the next gas station.
Yeah, exactly. That won't even fill his tank up. And see, that's the thing, sad thing, because it's like people don't, and I think business, money, all like just what he said. 2 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would have, cause I'd be like, okay, I'm taking 2 days, 2 money making days that he would have. That's what I think. Like most of the time when I think about money, I was like, oh, I'm taking 2 money days away from him. So you know what I'm saying. Most of all, if I'm asking for him to do that, I'm not gonna throw a price out there that low.
In actuality, it's 4 days because you got to travel up to Tennessee.
Yeah.
You got to cook for those 2 days, and then you got to drive back.
And $25
that's
in a
what I'm
different
saying.
state?
So basically, like I tell people, that's what I'm saying. So boom, basically, I look at that like $1,000, $1,200 a day to me. That's just.
I think people need to know it. I'm going to use this as a platform.
Yeah.
People need to know when you're at, whether it's me or not, right? Shout out to Sharon, one of my friends who also caters, and Georgina and Asia Hunter. Like all of these people are friends of mine, chefs that I lean on for assistance, and they lean on me for assistance.
Yeah.
But as the person with the platform right now, I'm going to make the announcement and speak for everybody. When people want to have a caterer or a private event, first of all, realize that that's much different than going out to eat. Because it's just on another level, whether it's me cooking or anybody else. You get a chef to come to your house instead of you going to a restaurant, that's just another level. It doesn't matter who it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't care.
But
luxury class.
There you go. If you can't afford that, all facetiousness aside, if you can't afford that, just go out to eat, right?
Yeah.
Have everybody pay for themselves.
Right.
But people should know the way that you come up with your budget is you take every individual meal. You say, how much would I pay for this individual meal?
Yeah.
You add up the amount of meals that the people are going to consume, and you multiply it times the number of people who are eating.
Yeah.
If you want to spend $10 per meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3 days or 2 days, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 per person. Multiply that times the amount of people, which is 20, and that'll give you your elongated budget. But sometimes people just think because 700 is a big number, 625 is a big number, that it suits the bill. And it does not.
No. But then also considering that it's not local.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I got to find somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Preferably close to where you are. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? There's that. You know what I mean?
And I don't want to seem like I'm complaining about, all of our people aren't bad people.
Yeah.
There are some learned people who they understand that, somebody provides a service you tip. Like the little things like that, no matter what it is. So that part of my business is just a very small subsection that I only spoke about right now because you asked me that question.
Right.
Like, what are some of the struggles?
Yeah.
99% of my business is people that are people who are willing to pay, right?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I understand it's going to be $2,000 for 10 people. Here it is, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like my mama making me pay for the things she wants.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So that's just one of the struggles. But aside from that, business is really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed. I will barter traveling for money. If you say like, hey, can't afford to pay you $125 an hour, but you can travel up with us to New Jersey. We'll take care of the flights and accommodations, and we'll get you a rental car, and we'll give you a stipend of $50 per day, but just cook for 10 people. I'm on it.
Listen.
I'm on it. Because I also have a clause that I don't work the first or last day of my trip. So if we stay in for 6 days,
vacation time, baby.
I don't work for the first and the last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
But even like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's why, like, most of the time when I'm doing stuff, man, I don't come in with my own prices. Because just like with your business, I don't assume I know. You know what I mean? I just ask and be like, tell me your price.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you if I can do it or not. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer that I lay out, you lay out, I come to you. If I'm coming to you, say I'm coming to Jarvis. And say, hey, Jarvis, you know what I'm saying? I got family, you know what I'm saying, coming in. I would love for you to cook. Tell them the particulars of everything to make sure I'm as thorough and communicate as thoroughly as possible. Say what I need, and I'll be like, what's your price for that? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say, hey, man, what's up, Jordan? You know what I mean? I've been knowing you.
Yeah. It should actually be the exact opposite of that.
Right.
And people don't understand, like, the hookup should go the other way.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
It shouldn't be like, yo, man, I've been knowing you for a while. Let me get a discount. It should be like, yo, I've been knowing you for a while. I seen your struggle. Let me pay a little extra.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
Let me pay the price. Like, that's how hookups should work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If all people operated on that level, it would do two things. It would make the experience more worth it, and it would literally force. Let's say us three were doing great in all of our respective businesses. Studio called you, they're like, yo, we want to pick you up. We're on, right?
Right.
Please, hop into it. You
Yeah.
have a blessing and a calling, hop into it. But if you want to do production and media and somebody hopped on, was like, yo, Steve, I want you to come and do X, Y, and Z project. We pay you $2 million up front, $3 million retainer.
Yeah.
Right? And then they were like, Chef, we want you to travel back and forth from here to Okinawa, Japan once a month and do X, Y, and Z. And then Darius was sitting at home like, hey, y'all, what y'all doing? Naturally, that would make him want to get on our level. Right?
Yeah.
So if we were like, yo, I'm doing super good, D, here's a check, X, Y, and Z, start your business. You're not going to take the check and be like, yo, I'm about to go buy some Maker's Mark. Shout out to my sponsor. I'm about to go buy some Maker's Mark and drink. You're going to be like, yo, I'm going to buy this mic. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then once you got up to the level that you wanted to be on, we'd all be exchanging vibes at that level. Right? And that's how you pull people up. But all too often, it's the opposite way.
Yeah.
One person's doing dope.
Yeah.
And the other 3 people like, yo, put me on the show, man.
Yeah.
Put me on the show.
Yeah.
For what? You have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, cause that's
it's so true.
Oh, man.
It's so true.
That is something. Yeah, never. Because amen.
Yeah.
But that's like one of the driving forces is what I want to do. You know what I mean? And that's how I believe. That's like it's like okay, it's somebody out here doing something. You know what I mean? Making moves.
Yeah. So
a hustler, a game changer, somebody doing something that nobody ain't never seen. You know what I mean? And luckily I know the guy or know a guy or know some guys. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, hey, we all on the same wavelength. Let's link up and shoot a bigger wavelength out. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And like some people, you know, like some people just ain't, you know, they don't think like that. They don't think like, cause most people just want you to snatch them up. That's it. Like it ain't no help come up or teach come up because most people just asking you to hand out the come up. You know what I mean? Because I be like, yo, this is how I hustled this far. This is how I go. Because it's like. Even like my stepdad, you know what I'm saying? Or even like, well, Mr. Garrett Jackson, you know what I'm saying? I call him my stepdad, but he taught me a lot when I was 18. You know what I'm saying? Even in the midst of his struggles, he taught me a lot.
Yeah.
He taught me how to hustle. He said, you can use your hands to make some money. You ain't necessarily got to wait on somebody to hand you a job. You know what I'm saying? If you know how to do something, use that, you know what I mean? And people will pay you for it because guess what? You can bank on people's laziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make money off people's laziness. You know what I'm saying? Or being convenient. Stuff like that. And ever since then, I was just like, man, I never thought about that. People lazy. Some people don't like to cut their grass. Guess what? I cut your grass for this month.
I make money off of people. When I go to people's house and I deliver food, and they're like, I don't know how to turn a stove on, but you can ask my husband. I used to be like, yo, you're so stupid. Like, you're dumb. Now I'm like, yes. I love the fact that you don't know how to turn your stove on because you're going to keep calling me and it's going to keep making me money.
Absolutely.
So I'm fine with it. Go to people's house. I try to figure out how to turn the stove on until the husband come down. We crank it on and I cook. So, but anyway.
Absolutely. So switching gears, you were on the show Cooks versus Cons. How was that experience for you?
It was dope. So I can't talk about being on the show unless I talk about how I got on the show. So one day I get a phone call. This was probably after I'd been doing Leftovers Dinner series for about 7 or 8 months. Got some notoriety. Started hitting some national channels. And a lady called me and she goes, "Hey, this is blank, you know, from Food Network, and we want to see if you're fit for a show. Do you have time to talk?" I'm like, "Yeah, what show is it?" She goes, "It's a show called Cooks versus Cons. Have you ever heard of it?" As anybody naturally would do. I lied and was like, definitely. Cooks versus Cons?
Absolutely.
You mean one with the cooks and the cons, right?
People that know how to cook and people that don't know how to cook.
So she was like, "Oh, you've heard of it. Awesome. Well, I don't have to go into my huge spiel. Which one do you think you would fit into, the cook or the con?" So I go, "Well, you know, a couple of years ago, I was driving one of my friends' Mercedes-Benz, and I got pulled over by the cops, and I couldn't open his glove box because it was locked. So the cop pulled me out, asked me to, you know, impound the car, and asked me to find my own ride. Impounded the car. I had to call a ride, came and got me. I searched for like months for the ticket to pay it off. I could never find the ticket, so I ended up moving overseas to Spain. I came back from Spain, ended up getting another traffic violation where the cop, you know, walked up to my window for speeding. So there's a warrant for my arrest, locked me up, and the judge threw out both of the cases. So I could actually be a con, but I'm also a chef, so I could be a cook." She was like, "Okay, Mr. Belton, I think you have the wrong perception of what we mean by con. Because it's actually conning the judges into thinking you're a chef, not convict."
See, that's how the title hit me at first.
Exactly. How was I supposed to know that?
Well, actually, it's a new show.
I knew what the show was. Siobhan watched it.
There you go.
Yeah.
You had a preface into it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just literally told you this 8-minute story about how I got locked up for no reason.
For no reason.
And she was like, well, at least, your story stood out, so we're definitely going to have it.
Yeah. I'm going to remember this guy, so I'm giving you a call.
You have a memorable story.
So when I got to New Jersey to film, they were like, you're the one that got pulled over by the cop. Like, everybody had watched listened to my phone interview. It was so if I was easily embarrassed, I would have been embarrassed. But anyway, that's how I got on the show.
Yeah.
But once I got on the show, it was a great experience. So people who haven't watched it yet, it's season 3, episode 7. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay.
I lost. So there's that. I won the first round, and the second round, a guy beat me out making a pureed broccoli with the broccoli steak. It was the most disgusting thing I ever saw. Right?
Yeah.
And he's a pretty cool guy. His name's Mike. He lives in New Jersey. He had a better story. Didn't look like us. So he beat me out, and everybody that came to I had like 40 people at my watch party. Everybody just knew I was going to win. It aired about 3 or 4 weeks after the actual show filmed. And so I knew the outcome, but no one else did. Yeah. And everybody was watching. And when I came up, and it was myself, Michael, and another young lady named Kat. And they said, and the winner is Michael. Everybody in the room was pissed, including me. It was like I didn't even know I lost. Wait a minute, I didn't win? What is this?
Like, what?
I was like,
no tongue having.
Yeah.
I like white chocolate instead of.
Javier. No, but I ended up losing. I think he got like $6,000 for winning.
Yeah.
But this is the reason to everybody who keeps asking me why I don't go on Chopped and things like that. I realized after filming that show 2 things. One, they already have the winner determined.
That's true.
Right? They have the winner
that
determined.
Is true.
That's crazy.
Because
that's so
I hope Food Network sees this because I'm calling you guys out.
Yeah.
They have the winner. Whoever has the best story is going to win.
Yeah.
Javon, see that? We said that. We said that.
Whoever has the best story is going to win.
Yeah.
I was a young black kid but a young black guy from Atlanta who went through a tragic accident. And if you don't know, I was in a motorcycle accident in 2014. I was the executive chef of Google, one of the youngest African-American chefs of one of the world's largest companies here in Atlanta. And my motorcycle accident ended that. And that's what started the Leftovers Dinner series, which lets me be on Food Network. Nevertheless, I was a young black guy from Atlanta who went through this tragedy, but now I'm on the up climb and now, kind of the pinnacle of my career, which is ironic because last year I got the Pinnacle Award from the city of Atlanta.
Right.
But
this
guy didn't look like us, from New Jersey, really, low and local. And his I think his father had passed away, and he took over his father's business, and he was struggling at the that. So he really needed the financial uplift.
Man,
So did I. You know what I'm
saying? But man, that's funny. That's what me and Siobhan say every time. I got a 100% rate. Picking the winners on the Food Network, any of their shows.
They know those.
Because I'll be like, the one that is the saddest, the one story you just like, that's just unfortunate that he won. And every time I get to the end, I'm like, I told you, I'm good at this. I know that formula now. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I don't go on Chopped. Because that's the first thing. The second thing is they like people elongated shows. Cooks vs. Cons is a one-off. It's one show, and it's either you win or you lose, but everybody's off. The next episode is 4 new people.
Right.
Shows like Chopped and things that are prolonged until the victor comes out. Those shows more so pick the people who bring in ratings. Right. So if you're loud and boisterous and your food sucks, you'll be on there for a long time. If you're one of those chefs that keeps your head down, focused, and creates amazing and immaculate tasting food, and you don't speak to people, you don't bump elbows, you don't throw salt in people's pans and stuff like that, you don't raise your voice, then you're out of there. You're probably not going to get chosen in the beginning. Right? Wow. So, because you have to remember that the people who are on the show with the contestants are also actors.
Right.
The judge is an actor. So they can eat some food and it could taste terrible, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, Darius, taste the macaroni and cheese. It's amazing. And me watching the show, I'm like, it don't have cheese in it. He didn't have time to put the cheese in.
Siobhan, you hear that? I told
He
you
literally didn't put the cheese in the mac and cheese.
I can just see like behind the scenes.
It got butter noodles on the plate. Talking about I drizzled truffle oil on it.
Yeah, it's the new vegan oil. I'm like, yo,
I can't put truffle oil on everything. That stuff is pungent and potent.
But based on his personality, he makes it to the next round.
Punch that jump in the face.
And I can look at someone's. It's almost like if somebody cuts hair, and you look at a TV show of somebody giving them you see another barber on TV giving a bald fade, and he does it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You can, as a barber, you can look at that and be like, nah, something was edited out.
Yeah.
Because he had to change clippers at least twice to get a bald fade.
Yeah.
And he never switched clippers. Like, something was edited out, right?
Of course.
Right.
As a chef, I can look at Chopped and be like, all right, he literally put a pan on the fire and put the chicken in there before he turned the fire on. The chicken won't create the Maillard reaction at 186 degrees, so it won't separate from the pan, which means it won't get brown and crispy on one side.
Right.
You might as well boil the chicken. It's not going to be tasty.
Yeah.
And then I see the judge eat it, and they're like, oh, so crispy. You're lying.
You're lying.
Plus all that is like, especially like with time elapse, it's shot over a longer period of time, right? I mean, you know, it's like I've been to like some shootings to where they're shooting stuff and then there's stuff in between. It's like a whole day thing. You know what I mean? Like you go on Family Feud, you're gonna be there all day for like one
it's
episode.
like some of the stuff, even like the baking shows. That's how I know they're not real. Because I was like, yo,
see,
you can't.
I don't watch.
It's not
all that stuff
compelling.
in no hour, not 90 minutes even. Because it's like I'm like, you have to let that cake rest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Icing on it. It has to be cold.
And because of that time disparity,
and I be telling people like, yo, I know some real life bakers out here that put cake in your mouth that'll knock your socks off.
Bella had some cake earlier today that knocked us out.
It's still in my bag. I ain't finished with it yet.
She had her fork right there. Steve-O moved it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I be telling them, like, man, you can't do it. You cannot cook.
The baking shows don't do it for me compared to the cooking shows because the time disparity is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's not compelling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're literally just saying, I'm gonna bake this, and then cut to when it's finished.
Right.
It's basically what it is.
Exactly.
I
The
don't
same guy with the glasses be like, it's 90 minutes on the clock. You know?
So Chopped is more compelling.
And then they mess up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I'll be
like is it on purpose?
And I'll be looking at like, it's just like, and I can tell, well, I ain't no chef, no nothing, but what makes sense to me makes sense to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll be like, ain't no way in the world you can do that.
Yeah.
So at least the cooking shows is a bit more realistic as far as the time. You get to see somewhat a process of it cooking. But like the baking, I never like the baking championships.
It's because the process of baking is so boring. They're not gonna put the camera on the oven and just watch it for 45 minutes.
So let's just not make a show.
They'd rather see him decorating the cake.
Or the camaraderie between if it's a group like a duo or you know they're talking across tables or whatever.
Even when I see people try to refry stuff and I see that the grease ain't hot. And
you drop it in there though, no bubbles come out.
That joint, I was like, they just soak whatever that was in oil. That's basically what it was. I said, they eat that and say that tastes good, which 9 times out of 10 they do. I would be like, your veins are full of cholesterol.
Better drink some hot water.
I'm trying to tell you out. Exactly. I was like, oh man. But you know. Is what it is in the spirit of competition. I guess that's what they have to do to get great.
The spirit of making money.
Right.
Yeah, the spirit of making money.
So my last question is, what is some wisdom that you would like to impart on those who are aspiring chefs or just people who are just aspiring after their dreams and their passions in general?
Yeah, that's a good question. Wisdom for people aspiring to either be chefs or delve into their passion. I think Darius hit on it earlier. Don't follow mainstream. The world is full of mainstream people, right? There are billions of mainstream people, and don't get me wrong, we need those people.
Yeah.
But we also need people who will look at the sun and a rock or something on the ground and create a clock.
Yeah.
That turns into a watch. We need somebody to say, I want to talk to somebody long distance and create a cell phone. None of these people are mainstream people. Henry Ford creating a vehicle. These people, which was created by a black guy before him, but we won't go to show for that. We need people who are not mainstream and think against the grain And college doesn't necessarily teach you to think against the grain. Experience does, right? So I'll tackle your question half and half. The first thing is find a mentor, whether it be me, whether it be another chef that's working in the industry. Find someone who does exactly what you want to do and work for free for a year. This is not a favorable response to your question. A lot of parents will be like, "What, dog? Like, turn it off. Turn it off.
You ain't finna work for free nowhere."
Let me tell you something.
You don't know what to do.
I graduated from Morehouse in 2009 with $60,000 in student loan debt. Right? I graduated from the Cordon Bleu with an accumulative debt of $89,000 in student loans. Graduated from Le Cordon Bleu International 6 months later, and then Emory when I came back with my master's with an accumulated debt of $112,000. All right? This is now public information, so there you go. $112,000.
Yeah.
Let's say I decided I wanted to be a chef and I wanted to shadow somebody in a 5-star restaurant that I wanted to work in at that time, right? So I go work for a year for free and I decide not to go to school. When I graduate, there is really no business on earth that'll let somebody work for free for a year and not give them a job afterwards. You'd have to be a dummy. Like, you'd have to mess up a lot to work for free, make them money for a year, free labor in the form of a stage or an internship, and then at the end, you learned everything about their process, and they say like, well, it's 365 days. You know, you ain't got to come back tomorrow, Steve.
Happy New Year.
That doesn't really happen.
Right.
Doesn't generally happen.
Generally. You know, so I say find somewhere where you want to work and work for free for a year. At the end of that year, you'll know the entire process. They'll give you a job. Most likely, you'll get a promotion within the next year. Right? And then you have zero debt. Right? So if you do that part-time and you got another part-time job to make money, that's 1 year of investment, zero debt, and you've already guaranteed yourself a promotion within 6 months to a year.
Right.
Versus taking the traditional route, going to school for 4 years, getting a degree, learning how to, or culinary school for 2 years, getting a degree, and you come out, and it happened to me as well. You get somewhere and they say, I don't care what you learned in culinary school. This is my restaurant. This is how I want you to cook.
Right.
You learn how to do what to onions? Nah, player. Put them in this machine and just do this, and then it's gonna spit what I want out.
It's almost like in a simpler analogy, like when you learn a forklift and you learn it like Goodwill or something, like some OSHA class Goodwill or something like that. So you learn how to work a forklift according to OSHA standards. You know, then you go to work at a factory. Guess what? You gotta get trained all over again to certify their machines, because one place might have a cherry picker, the other place might have like a big forklift or another machine or whatever that you're gonna have to learn. So yeah, I mean, you got
working for free for a year is the way to go for culinary arts. Now there are other things that, I mean, I wouldn't suggest that for every background profession. But as far as me, if I could do it all over again, I would still probably go to Morehouse because that changed my life in many ways. But as far as culinary arts, I wouldn't have went to culinary school. I would have worked for somebody for a full year, and that would have guaranteed me a job. And just knowing me, I probably wouldn't have had that job for more than a year or two before I branched off and did my own thing. But I think a lot of people are scared to make mistakes on other people's dime, which is the second component of my advice. Make mistakes on other people's dime. Go work for a catering company, not mine. Or you can do mine, that's fine too. But go work for somebody's catering company, make a couple mistakes on their dime, learn how to do it, and then branch off and start your own catering company. Too many people jump out there and they're like, I just want to have my. Like what I was telling you earlier, I want to have my stuff. This is mine.
Right.
And then they make a bunch of mistakes and they fail. Right? Go work for somebody else. Be humble.
That's true.
I was humble for a long time, and I'm still humble, but I have a jacket that I wore today. I wore it to church. It's a last parking jacket. And people keep walking up to me like, you do parking? Last parking? Like, you valet? And I'm like, all I say is humble beginnings. I used to park cars. When I was in my motorcycle accident, I couldn't walk. So I used to drive a parking van for months. Right? But that allowed me to be in the van when I didn't have any customers building invoices. So I did what I had to until I could do what I want to. People see the success and they're like, how do I get on TV? How do I get international clients? How do I get somebody to pay me to travel? How do I? And I'm like, bro, work. Give away food. Yeah. Remember when you was coming to the dinners? It was 2 for $25.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
2 people for $25. Yeah. 7 to 8 courses.
Yes.
And I was about to say he gave you enough to work
out. My God!
Everybody was full.
Let me tell you something.
Everybody was full.
Oh, I missed those days.
2 for $25, yo, and people wasn't coming. I was giving food away, and people wasn't coming.
Yeah.
None at $115 a person, and they selling out.
And they selling
before
selling out.
I even market them, they're selling out.
Yeah.
So humble beginnings, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's like one thing that I do appreciate. You know what I'm saying? I just want to vocalize that now. Just like just seeing your work ethic through it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like to know you ain't give up, even though you had some times where life didn't necessarily hand you the things that you or I maybe thought that it's supposed to hand it you at the time. You know what I'm saying? But, you power through it. You'll fall back, but you'll leap forward. You know what I'm saying? You may fall back 2 steps, but you'll leap forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just to have that ability, because, like, a lot of times people just fall down and they just stay
there, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You be like waiting on somebody to lift them up. But that's like I tell people, man, more people will step over you than to hand you a helping hand. So
oh, definitely.
It's best to learn how to just settle yourself with God and get up. You know what I mean? And just keep pushing, because it's just like life is not perfect, man. But just to see your hustle through it all, man, it's been good. It's been a good thing to watch. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely blessed me, and I have had opportunity to even join you on yacht parties and just to see and enjoy some of the fruits of your labor. You know what I'm saying? And just as a friend, you know what I mean? Like it's been good, man, and
blame God for that, bro. Yeah, blame God, because I know how it feels to have everything, and I know how it feels to have nothing.
Right.
Sound like Paul.
Yeah, when Paul said that, that's that scripture I hold on to, because I know how it feels to live in lack, and I know how it feels to have it. Like when I was working for Google, I was making the most money I've ever made in my entire life from one sustainable job. Yeah, I was making I would pay all my bills with half of one check. Right. And then I would still have another check coming that month. And I would put that whole check into the bank, and I would have to blow that half. Yeah. I was making, and then I got into the motorcycle accident. I was literally, this is a part of my testimony. Yeah. Right? So when I walked out of my house, when I was working for Google, I had a Range Rover sitting outside, a champagne color Range Rover. I had a Honda VFR 750 motorcycle. I had a red Jeep Grand Cherokee, and a friend of mine, Avis, gave me a Volvo just to use. She got a new car, and she gave me a Volvo just to use whenever I wanted to run errands or something like that, just to make sure it kept working, right? So I would literally walk out of my house and look at the weather, and that would determine which vehicle I drove. Right. If it was beautiful and sunny, I'm taking a bike. Yeah. If it was freezing cold outside, maybe chance of snow, I'll hit the Rover. Yeah. If I just wanted to do crazy stuff and drive fast and go off road, I'll take the Jeep, right? And if I was going to Publix down the street, I'd take the Volvo. Yeah. Literally, that's how I operated. Right. When I got into that motorcycle accident, I had to sell the Jeep. The motorcycle was totaled. I had to sell the Rover. Yeah. I gave the Volvo back to Avis. I had nothing, bruh. Yeah. And when I wanted to go somewhere, I had to call a friend to come and take me to the store. And then I couldn't walk for 9 months, so I had to bring my crutches. Yeah. Wow. So I literally went from sitting on top of the world, having everything, paying for all my friends to go out to eat and drink, to literally asking my brother to help me out with rent 7 months later. Right. Yeah. Destructive. Yeah. Devastating. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm in a mode where I look at my bank account and I say, my bank account will never be less than this. Right. And if it gets close, I got to stop doing something. I ain't eating out nothing else. I ain't buying another bottle of liquor. I ain't taking nobody else out there. There's just stuff that I hold back on, because I know that, especially with catering, my job and income is like this. I'll have busy seasons, and I'll have months where nobody wants to call me. Right. So now I have to sustain myself and kind of mellow out that line. There's still going to be ups and downs. Right. But I've learned to mellow out that line. So
absolutely.
That's the biggest thing with my financial income now.
Yeah. That's what's up.
That's awesome.
Well, check them out. Thanksgiving. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You're going to be doing that.
Thanksgiving, we doing peach cobblers, sweet potatoes, Yeah, I think I'll do macaroni and cheese this year.
Oh my god.
I'm getting that too.
Yeah, hit me up on your chef's favorite on Instagram if you want to put in an order for sweet potatoes, mac and cheese, or a peach cobbler.
Yes.
I might do banana. I can't do banana pudding because it can't sit for 2 days.
I was about to say, don't do that. Just you know what I'm saying. Just peach give me my 3 dishes. You know what I'm saying.
Maker's Mark infused peach cobbler. How about that?
I'm fine with it. Whatever
that's
it
great.
is, my family eats. So you know what I mean. Like, I got my orders from my mom. You know what I'm saying? So I know what I.
Oh yeah, you put in 2 orders today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you know, I'm gonna go ahead and make that happen. My mama said so.
Word.
You know,
gotta
so
listen to
I
moms.
can't come to Lincoln without it. So, you know.
Right.
Understood, bro.
So I'm showing up. You know, I don't cook. If me and my family looking at this, I don't cook that stuff, man. He cooked that stuff.
I put my sticker on it.
Yeah,
Make sure
sticker was on it.
My face was on
like,
it.
yeah, my baby was like, yeah, I ain't know you can cook like that. Oh, who that pizza? Nah, he didn't do the cook.
Yeah, I would put my sticker on it.
My homeboys chefed it up, y'all. You know what I
Right.
mean? I wish I cooked like that. But yeah.
So we have arrived at the end of our show, but before we sign off, let's go through our final thoughts. Steve, you know?
Oh man, I would just like to say, with Tuesday coming up, please go out there and vote. If you have not voted, it is your civic duty. Especially, we're here in Georgia. It's a very tight race right now. It's not sewn up.
No, it's
by
not.
any stretch of the imagination. Let's not leave this to a runoff. Let's get out there and let's make the decision one way or the other. So
Yeah.
Let's go out there and vote.
Absolutely. My final thoughts. So for our show, we are opening up our site for donations for your continued support. So if you would like to make a donation and just seeing this project continue to come fruition, I will be posting the link to the actual show and also the link to the donation page for you to be able to do so. Also, if you are a company and organization that would like to have your product placed or your promotional material within our show as an ad, we also have some tiers and the details that are under each one that tells you basically what you're getting with each package. Just right now, statistically, our trailers alone outside of the show has reached over 100,000 people all across the world.
India.
Yes, India is our top market right now. But this will give you an opportunity. This will give you an opportunity to promote your product or your company or organization to unique viewers. So definitely be looking out for that link. And if that's something that you desire to do, please do it.
Final thoughts, Chef.
Yeah, final thoughts, man. I have to echo what Steve threw out there. Please vote.
Yes.
Please vote. And the way that media manipulates the mainstream is they'll show Stacey Abrams in the lead.
Yeah.
So black people will think like, oh, well, I don't have to vote because she's going to win.
Right.
And then the day of, all of a sudden, she's going to be like 4 or 5 points behind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, please get out there and vote. Vote. Your vote matters. Your voice is within your vote. So that's that. The other thing is just be positive. There's so much negativity happening out there.
Yeah.
And we need things like this. We need to, every once in a while, you need to sit in front of somebody and just vent and get all the negative frustration out in one area, one city, one time period, so that when you go outside of your doors, the confines of your house, your business, your work, school, whatever, it could be more positive than negative. But in general, I think people should just be more positive, and that will overcome the negative 99% of the time. Yeah. So thank you guys for having me on the show.
Absolutely.
Glad to have you, bro.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to voice my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what it shows all about.
Darius J, final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts is, vote. You know what I mean? First of all, I'm echoing what everybody else said. Vote. I used to believe it didn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest and 100 with everybody. I used to believe it didn't matter. So I exercised my right not to vote. You know what I mean? But, I see myself be a person that, you know, like from the sidelines, you know what I'm saying, trying to yell in and tell the quarterback how to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, to eliminate that, you know what I mean, I said, you know what, I'm going to vote. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to vote for the person that, you know, that I agree with. You know what I mean? At least that's my voice echoing out into eternity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maximus. But but you know what I mean, Jesus don't have a political party. You know what I mean? That's really at the end of the day. I know a lot of people like to say Republicans are everybody that are Christians and stuff like that, and I was like, that is untrue. If you ever read your Bible, sir. But you know what I'm saying, Jesus don't rock with no party. Jesus is all about the righteous. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? People, if like Angel said today, hey man, don't let whoever get in office sway your mind and your thoughts and your emotions, because at the end of the day, man, all you really have is God. You know what I'm saying? So hold on to that. You know what I mean? Because just like me, even when Agent Orange got into, you know what I'm saying, power, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't hurt me, it didn't bother me, you know what I mean? Like, I woke up and I told someone, well, you know, I know it's time to hustle, you know what I'm saying? I know I watch the climates, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just time to hustle and get better. But, you know, a lot of good came from Trump being president that I can't really go into my final thoughts. But, you know, I never seen so much pro-blackness. That's one thing I would say. That's a good thing that came from that, because people actually start to big up themselves. And I just, you know, pray that people continue to grow, you know what I'm saying, in these processes, and, you know, learn your candidates. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be out here voting blindly. You know what I mean? I know, like, black people, like, I'm going to vote black, but, you know, if they don't agree with you, it don't agree with you. Right. Don't be ashamed to vote otherwise. It's your vote, you know what I mean? That's why most of my friends, I don't discuss politics, because I really don't care what you vote. If you're good to me, you're good. You know what I'm saying? So those are my final thoughts.
Yeah.
Can I do an addendum to my final thought?
Sure.
You can.
So in lieu of you guys promoting Convrs8, I would love to donate 5% of every peach cobbler, mac and cheese, and candied yam purchase back to you guys.
What?
Yeah, so 5% from here on out. Well, to the end of the year, because I'm not doing them until Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving through Christmas. 5% of all the purchases for those 3 dishes will go back to Convrs8. I'll write you guys a check.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, you got some pictures of your food?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make a flyer. No,
yeah.
I'm gonna ask Steve to help me make a flyer.
There you go. Have Steve make the flyer. Step into that caller.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean.
Hey.
And we will blast this out of here, just not for our benefit, but for our brother, man. Like, he is an excellent chef.
Yes, absolutely. Like, oh my God, I still taste those pancakes, those waffles.
I'm telling you, like, he is an excellent chef.
It was like 4 years ago.
I know,
my family enjoys it, you know what I mean? And I like his leftover dinner series are awesome. They had gotten a lot better. I have seen the pictures, and he just the places that he picked. Everything is thought through. That's all I can say. His essence is everything that he does.
Absolutely.
He does everything excellent. And it's like, and you know, just even like his birthday party when he's supposed to be celebrating himself, he'd still do things excellent. Like, I've never seen a person like him. So, you know what I mean? Like,
I appreciate it, bro.
Check him out.
Check him out.
Don't, I'm going to show up at your house and hit you in the mouth with some sweet potato.
I don't condone that.
Yeah, it's like Armani was saying last week, like, we just have such a network of just
great,
tremendous people,
talented
people.
Absolutely.
And so this is just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and that Maker's Mark root beer tastes great. I did not.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
I'll pick that up after the 21st. Right.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man. I'll come back just for you.
We're having him back on the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have a Maker's Mark episode.
Right. It's a tasting, you know.
It's a tasting.
We
talk the more
we had an episode around pizzas, so now
So you know, we appreciate everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We thank y'all for checking us out. Like we're on YouTube, so we would like to try to gain subscribers and gain traction on YouTube. We want to put out better content. So if you can like, share, subscribe, you know what I mean, that really helps us out. You know what I'm saying? We're really thankful. So
ring the bell.
Ring that bell. You know what I mean? And check us out, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook, Convrs8, CONVRS8, exclamation point, let's talk about it. It's about it. And check us out on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Get on our page, you know, talk about, chime in on the topics, you know what I'm saying? We'd love to hear from you guys. As well, leave voicemails on anchor.fm. You can actually leave us a voicemail. You know what I mean? And we get you. That's how actually Bella became a permanent on our show. You know what I'm saying? So, not saying you'll be a permanent.
Yeah.
Not enough mics.
But, you know what I mean? Definitely, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate all the support thus far. You know what I'm saying? We're so happy to have you guys.
Absolutely.
And we are doing this stuff, you know, just because it's on our hearts to do. We're trying to put great, positive products and ideas forward. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to big up the people that we know. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get them before they get too big, because Jarvis goes Hollywood.
I mean, and 25 episodes later,
25.
Man. And it's just
6 months, a little over 6 months.
It's still fresh every time. Everybody brings something different as far as guests, and you know, it's been a great journey.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to the next 2,500. I don't know. You know, like that's the continuity.
And also, rate us on iTunes. You know what I'm saying? Rate us on iTunes.
Yes.
Share us, like us, rate us. Let us know. It gets us traction if we get to be viewed. So the more we are viewed, liked, listened to, we will be able to be seen.
Extends our
pop up on your screen automatically.
Right.
And you share us, we'll share you. If you got something that needs to be pushed, you know what I'm saying, all artists and creators alike, we will push you forward as well. We're trying to just build this train and just keep pushing each other forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do things better.
Right.
We enjoyed you, Chef Jarvis.
Yes.
Glad you were here.
Thank you.
And this is Convrs8.
Yes.
We talked about it.
We talked about it.
We talked about it.
Peace.
If your breath smells like a soprano church mic,
stop it.
That foam from
Quay said that he never knew that you were using the weather to choose your whip.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, people could type live on
it.
Yep, live chat and everything.
Hey, that was true. I like that. Yes. I would definitely be in contact with Dave. You know, we chopped it up with him at the place, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, that's pretty much what I feel like he was saying. It didn't set in on me until Jarvis said that. I was just like, that's basically what he was saying.
With who? What?
The guy that has the studio and stuff like that. That's basically what he was saying. Conversation like, let's link up. You know what I'm saying? Come through, we'll collab, all that stuff like that. Because he's a cool guy, man. Like, I would love to hear what he has to say and love to be able to.
He was literally having
learn.
Like after the event, like he was just out there preaching, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to say he was cold.
It might take you 8 years to get all of the stuff that he got. So if you focus on getting that stuff, you won't push yourself back 8 years. But if y'all start collabing now, that content can be immediate.
That's real.
Well, all right, y'all. We're going to wind down the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank y'all for tuning in, yo.
Absolutely.
Get yourselves some Maker's Mark.
Yeah, thanks Mellow Yellow for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maker's Mark. Thanks for the bottle.
In your mouth.
It's holiday time. You need it.
Holiday time.
It keeps you nice and warm.
Especially when you're around your family.
I was nice and warm.
You know what I mean? Boy.
All right, so I'm sliding to